Good morning, traders. Welcome back to another live stream. If you are new, my name is Zach. This is Real Deal Futures. Before we get started, before we hop on these charts, get some live trading in, make sure you view what's on the screen. Trading is risky. Most traders do lose money. I'm not a financial advisor. I do not provide financial advice. Nothing I say or do is a suggestion or recommendation to do anything at all. Make sure you do your own research, make your own trading decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts, and the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links and codes in my content, like Top of Futures, code RDF, Bookmap, and others. Chat, what's going on, man? We got a big day today. We have not only some live trading getting ready to get rolling here for pre-market. It is 8:46 a.m. Eastern. We have founder, top one trader, top one futures, Clay B. Hodges hopping on stream with me at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. And as promised, and as he said yesterday in his story, we got something big today, man. So I'm excited about that. But ahead of that, man, we're going to get some live trading in as we always do. We're going to see what we can do in these dang markets. See if we can't make some damn money. Chat, what's happening? Dwayne, good morning. TA Fatal, good morning. Black Sminx, I can't get any of your guys' names ever, man. You make it so hard with these crazy YouTube names, bro. What the hell? Tom Ward, there we go. That's an easy one. Paul, thank you. Dwayne, what's up? Purple Ninja Facts, I can handle that one. Nah, what's going on, guys? Glenn B, we got all the OGs in here. Chris, what's up? Jess, good morning. Mahinded NQ, good morning. I can actually see all you guys from Kick and YouTube now in one stream, which is awesome. Kobe Clark, good morning. See, I even got my boys and girls from Kick. We're gonna make it happen over here. Streaming from this platform, I get a little bit more. I still can't see you guys on X. I have to physically go on X myself and keep a whole side chat open. If you're on X and you're watching this, I appreciate you tuning in. Feel free to stay there if you want. But if you want very low latency, no ads, streaming, you can hop on Kick. If you want to watch on YouTube, we're live on YouTube as well. But I'll try to keep it open so I can catch you guys on Twitter and say what's up. Appreciate you guys hopping on. Let's go ahead. Wakey DG Finance. Slothfather, there you go. What's up? Mystic Rick, good morning. I'm late. Yeah, late for 7:30, but Mystic Rick, I know you're in the main chat in Discord as well. I did let you guys know ahead that we're going to run this at 8:30. And even at 8:30, I guess I'm late for 8:30. But I think I'm a better trader than I am a live stream coordinator, which is part of my job, part of what I do, right? But bouncing between multiple different platforms, multiple different softwares to stream that I'm running at the same time and managing all of it myself, I will say, can be a little bit challenging at times, while also trying to get some damn good trading in here. All right. Now that we got past that, good morning. What's up, guys? What's up? Ezal, Eric, ASF, what's happening, guys? Good morning. Just Stewart, what's happening? Welcome. Blew my account. That's not good. Don't do that. It's too early, man. It's not even like market open yet. How'd you blow your account? Don't do that, guys. So we have TradingView hooked up to Tradeovate. We have TradingView and Tradeovate linked. We are ready to get some trading in. Got YM pulled up here on the 15-minute chart. Still my bread and butter for trading into NYSE Open. I still really do not want to give up trading YM into NYSE Open, as it's gotten me pretty damn far last year into this year. But we are going to get some scalping in on NQ on the low time frames, like some absolute sociopaths. We can get some of that in. I have my IB high and low displayed over here. Obviously, it's not IB high and low yet. That's why they're pulled over to the side. But let's take a look at the daily chart. See what we had going on yesterday. Caught the shorts on YM. That paid me nicely. Took a bunch of trades with you guys on the live session, but specifically on YM. Took one that generated $600, about $600, like probably $590 or $580 something with Tradeovate fees in the top one futures 15K live account. Put some profit in some sim accounts. You know that I'm trading with you guys as well. But we popped to the upside, really big wick to the upside, and then came all the way back down. You can see that on the 15-minute chart here. if we zoom all the way back in, I got short right in here. And we did kind of chop around, drift lower, and then I finally took profit, I think on this candle coming down towards VWAP here, somewhere into the low 400s. I think I wanted the 410s yesterday. We bounced off of VWAP. Nice classic move off of VWAP. Honestly, man, I think you could just trade that sometimes. And many people do. And then we sold off pretty aggressively into the afternoon before closing, again, back all the way up near VWAP, right? Kind of the middle ground to the high end of what we did for the day. But on the daily chart, forming that big wick to the upside, still closing with a not a big bearish close or anything like that. Today, took off at the open to the upside, kind of sold off a little bit through Asia, London, through late London into pre-market. And then now at this 8:30 a.m. red folder news that we had, there it is right here. Market likes that. We popped to the upside, looks like about 200 points on that 15-minute candle. And we're kind of holding up there, trading the 50,480s, trading up there. Interested to see where we go here before market open, but just framing some trading ideas on YM, man. If we start to take off today, you know, I could see it happening, right? We are, if you're a trend line trader, we are really holding a nice trend to the upside here. Higher highs, higher lows getting put in on the, you know, mid time frames. Maybe you call the 15-minute the mid time frame, you know, the hour, the 4 hour, the daily, the higher time frame. The weekly, the monthly, the very high time frame, and then, you know, maybe like 1 minute, 5 minute, 30 second is, you know, the very low time frame. But it all depends on if you zoom in or zoom out, right? But so far, maintaining this bullish structure here on YM, we cracked, you know, continue to crack all-time highs, right? If we look at the daily, we're sweeping prior bar high almost every day, right? Cracked highs here, cracked highs here, cracked highs here. Looks like we probably want to try it. I don't know. We're pushing the upside right now, forming a nice bullish candle. Not a ton of movement by way of, like, you know, average range that we're putting in here, right? This obviously was a big day. Just getting twitchy with the measurement tool, which I like to do. 431 here. You know, doing this can give us a little bit of an expectation, right? 504 here, right? You know, unless we're going to put a huge candle in, you know, what can we expect out of this market? Certainly enough to pop all the way to the upside, you know, trade through prior day high here on Wednesday, February 11th. But we're going to wait and see as we get ready to open up in about 45 minutes, 40 minutes or so for NYSE Open. But 15-minute chart, framing some trades. Yeah, man, I got paid on the shorts. I've gotten paid on the shorts up here, but I want to be cautious, man. I really do. You know, hitting the sell button too many times from a higher time frame perspective here on YM can get a little bit dicey. I do want to be cautious of doing that. But opening up somewhat bullish so far, right? You know, we did trade through prior day's volume point of control. We really traded most of yesterday's range, trading towards the high end of it right now. Yeah, we tested yesterday's value area low, haven't hit value area high yet, so we kind of chopped around this whole thing. Interested to see if we get some kind of a pullback to this area of high volume all the way up here. Maybe from a higher time frame perspective, at some point we are going to push higher, but we're going to want to come all the way back down and retest these highs, right? Like maybe this low was not enough to do that, and you know, we often like to go lower before we go higher. I could see that at some point, you know, maybe later this week, maybe into next week, a pullback down to roughly the 49,600s, 500s, right into this area of high volume, this big area of consolidation. Price loves to come back to areas of high volume. Price action market structure that we've hung out with for a long time. Obviously, this was a key level. You can see how many days, really weeks that we spent up here hammering into that before we finally broke. Would not be unreasonable to retest that before taking off. So I could see that. But overall, I'm not carrying a bearish bias at all. We're very, very bullish, continuing to push to the upside. So if I had to take a short, it would be, again, above yesterday's high, kind of what I did yesterday. Probably would want to wait a little bit. We don't have much to work off of to the upside above this, outside of value area high and then just yesterday's high. So we'll take a look at that if we pop to the upside. If we sell off really aggressively, I would see trying it off of this area in here, right? Maybe off of yesterday's low, even lower, you know, to essentially say, I don't think that today's the day that we sell all the way off to the 49.5s, right? That we kind of pull maybe one of these, or at least back up. Could see an aggressive long in here on YM, just framing out some of the stuff that I'll be looking for off of the open. But in general, how do I trade YM off the open? I fade the initial movement, right? I will look for that mean reversion style movement. So long as there's a way for me to structure risk, there's some level for me to enter off of, I'm going to look to fade it. So if we pop to the upside, I'm going to look to sell. If we dip to the downside, I'm going to look to buy that dip right back up towards VWAP, current volume point of control, something along those lines. So that's kind of framing out some trade ideas on YM. I'm not going to throw levels on this chart. We got the volume profiles to work off of. That's going to be enough for me. So let's hop over to our good friend NQ. See if we can't give ourselves a heart attack scalping on the low time frames here before market open. Yeah, got a little over a half hour to get some trading in. I still want to play around. I've really been enjoying taking trades, intentionally taking trades on NQ on the low time frames, getting some trading in, getting comfortable on TradingView linked to Tradovate for prop firms. If you guys don't know, we are done trading on Project X for the most part. Most prop firms are no longer trading on Project X. Most of them are on Tradovate. You can use NinjaTrader. You can link both of those to TradingView, not to have too many T words here because they're all T words, which is what I have done here. So we'll take a look, see if we can't scalp a little bit. So far, pop to the upside on this news, and we've really just been drifting higher. I don't mean to hit the sell button. I just hit something to bring up the order card. Could look for some scalpy style trades. Was having some fun with a one-to-one fixed take profit, fixed stop loss scalp based on ATR. Could get a little bit tighter. Really just go for these really tight scalpy style trades, utilizing price action, market structure, and order flow. I technically can't show you guys my bookmap chart at the same time here today on StreamYard, although I like to do that. But I am looking at bookmap when I take these trades. It's something that I am using much more heavily if I'm going to scalp really aggressively on low time frames. I do like to look at what's going on the book, and we'll display that, and we have been displaying that on all of the other streams. So we'll display that again on the other streams. Unless you guys just want to watch bookmap, I could throw bookmap up here and I could tell you when I'm going long and short, but I think you guys like to see the actual execution, stops, targets, P&L running. That's really what live trading is. So watch it for a little bit of a dip down here in NQ. Maybe buy a little bit of a dip. There are some orders up above on bookmap. Let me see if I can pull up bookmap for you guys real quick. Let me see if we can pull up bookmap real quick for you guys. Kind of just show you what I'm looking at here. Let's see, can I share this window? Yeah. Oh, look at that. We can get a big bookmap chart up here. So this is NQ's bookmap, or bookmap for NQ, however you're supposed to put it. What I look for, what I talk about here is levels of liquidity, right? Above and below price. Now, when you're really zoomed in like this, it's, I think, like being on a low time frame. It's much more, it's much faster moving. Maybe it's less reliable. Maybe it's less respected, right? Than something like ES on a much more zoomed out view, where I say, wow, we've got big stacks of orders, that have been on the book for hours coming into pre-market. And, I'm interested to see what happens when we get to these levels that are, really big and maintaining their movement on the book, right? This is much more fast moving. So I think grain of salt, what I'm doing here and what I'm describing, and I do myself, which is why I would trade much higher frequency, much lower risk, ability to take on, many losses, just say, hey, it's not working out today, and go from there. But essentially what I'm looking for is secondary to price action and market structure, because that's always first for me. On bookmap, order flow, right? I'm looking at levels of liquidity coming on and off the book, right? Maybe higher than what's happening right here, right now, where we've got 19 orders right here at 24.50. We've got some orders down here at the 40s that we're coming into right now, the 35s. I think we're likely to go and grab those orders, right? Once we go and grab them, what is my initial thesis? That we pop, we fill those buy orders, and we get a little bit of a reaction to the upside. And that's exactly how I trade NQ for these really scalpy style movements. So, maybe we sell into the 35s. We get through some of this liquidity right here, and I'm looking for a little pop back up, right? I'm looking to buy into, coming into these orders, these orders down here to the downside for a little pop back up. Doesn't always happen, right? Sometimes we just dip right through. Market does whatever it wants to do. Again, combining this with price action to say like, well, what's happening on a candlestick chart right here? Is this no man's land? Is this a key level? Is this a prior high broken in an uptrend? Or is this just a random, price level that we happen to have 10 orders on NQ at 9 a.m., right? So maybe like right here, the thesis could be we fill some of this and then we get a little bit of a pop. Maybe, just a 10-point pop off the lows, right? We trade through the 25s, 26s right here, and we go trade the 35s. Maybe we want to hit this liquidity, right? That's kind of a thesis of a trade. Entering really aggressively counter to the initial movement, trying to enter with the higher time frame trend, which right now is to the upside, but really just focusing on price action and order flow and trying to scalp these little movements in between the higher time frame movements. Kind of how I'm approaching NQ. Again, not my bread and butter. There we go. There's the little 10-point pop off the lows here. It's kind of what we would look for. Not my bread and butter. Not what I primarily do. If you're new here, I've talked about trying to build more of an edge, build more discretion, intuition, experience on the very low time frames for multiple reasons. Efficiency in trading prop firms, efficiency for trading live with you guys here, trading different times of the day, like pre-market instead of NYSE open. So that's what I'm doing here. But again, low expectations, really low expectations, low risk, not doing it in aggressively in live accounts, because I think you can get cooked really quickly doing this, right? And until you gain hundreds and thousands of hours of screen time doing the same thing over and over and over again, maybe you want to put some risk behind it, but maybe you don't want to go crazy putting a whole bunch of risk behind it. So that is a little bit of an overview on a Bookmap. If you guys want to check out Bookmap, also fair warning, I'm partnered, I'm affiliated with Bookmap. I was using Bookmap well before I was partnered and affiliated with them and paid by them. I would if they said, hey, Zach, we like you, but not that much, and we're not going to pay you. So if you want to check out Bookmap, getting that out of the way, here is my link to check out Bookmap. Since I yapped about it today, link will be in the chat right there. No code, best deal on Bookmap, going to be coming to the chat right there. Let's see, check out Bookmap, link in chat. There we go, that's the right banner for this one. So let's see what we got coming up here. Kind of coming off these highs a little bit. I don't love this structure for scalping, honestly. I like to start to get some consolidation, and I'm more likely to try to take a trade in here as we trade back and forth between some really low time frame price action like this. So I'm going to give this a second. See what you guys got for me in chat. So I was going to mention great news. We could all trade it. Yeah, what are we talking about? The stock futures, individual stock futures. You see that CME is going to have individual names for futures later this year. Yeah, dude, crazy. What's going on, guys? Good morning, good morning. That's a huge development. Huge development. Yes, Pam, this is the 1 minute for NQ. And again, guys, Pam, I know you've been here. I know we got some people gaining some consistency. I don't want to display something that I think is good for beginners or good for people that are just starting to gain some consistency. I also don't think that doing multiple things before you have consistency doing one thing is a really great way to make progress in trading. So, grain of salt what you're seeing from me, which is why I said what I said before, and why I sent all these long messages, right? I want to display what I'm actually doing. This is what I'm actually doing, so I'm going to show you guys it. But I want to display like where I'm at with this, and where I think this is a good opportunity and maybe not so great of an opportunity. So that's my thought. But this is the 1 minute, which is a very fast moving time frame, especially on a very fast moving instrument like NQ. That's why I joke around and say we're going to give ourselves a heart attack here. Definitely needs nano contracts. Yeah, man. So CME, we could talk about that real quick. Clay is coming on 9:30 a.m. Eastern. We have Clay, special guest will be on coming up about 9:30. Founder of Top One Trader, Top One Futures. Super psyched to have Clay on. So not on just yet, obviously, but we're going to have him on very shortly. But yeah, man, so the CME is releasing, it says coming summer, individual stock futures, which is crazy. There's so many instruments to trade, obviously, but that's going to be a whole nother option. It sounds like it's going to trade like 24/5 or something like that, or 23/5, kind of like current futures contracts. But that's going to be really interesting. I think it's going to open the door to a lot with prop firms, a lot with individual accounts. It's going to be pretty cool. I think you'll probably see, this is way down the road, but you'll probably see traders come off of NQ and primarily be, a Tesla trader or a Nvidia trader, right? Like they're going to trade the futures contract for that intraday every single day. So really interesting to see the markets develop. And we're not talking about prop firms. That's the Chicago Mercantile Exchange adding a new, is it technically a new? Yeah, it's technically new financial instruments to trade. It's really an addition to the futures market, so it's not a new market, I don't believe, but completely different instrument. So they're saying like really high leverage. I've heard some people say it's going to be like crazy high leverage. You're going to be able to trade similar to futures, right? And kind of what we're doing here on the U.S. indices, which is pretty insane for the most part. The notional value that we're able to trade. But yeah, it's going to be huge. It's going to be really cool. Really cool. Let's see. Yes, we got a bunch of people hopping on. Appreciate you being here. Guys, we will have Clay from Top One Futures. I saw a couple people say it. Clay from Top One Futures will be coming on. Let me throw this up. This man will be on stream coming up soon. 9:30 a.m. But until then, we're going to try to get some trading in here. Let me see if I can't... find something. We're starting to chop around here. Little bit of liquidity above and below that we keep going to grab and fill. Let's see. 13.7 on the ATR for this morning. Kind of just chopping back and forth here, up around these highs. Let's see what we could work with. This would be start to get really tight to work with on a mini, but we could play around with this. Again, one thing I was working on yesterday, guys, was different ways to enter and exit using TradingView. One thing that I did like, it left me in the dust one time. I totally missed a trade. But one thing I did like was a limit order, plus or minus, like ask -5, right? Essentially setting a limit order below current price, below the ask by 5 ticks. And why you might want to do that, is I'm kind of automatically trying to compensate for the lag, the delay in where price is, not only where price is printing, the split second delay, but certainly the delay on the bracket as I display it. You can see price move around, and then the limit order try to stay below price, but sometimes price moves into it. It kind of moves back and forth. I feel like I could get a little bit of a better fill doing this. You can certainly get cooked. You can get left in the dust. If price starts to push to the upside and you're looking to buy, you could certainly just completely miss the trade altogether, which happened yesterday. But I think maybe like for pre-market an ask minus even like 2 or 3 would be better than just trying to mark it in, because it. Unless honestly it's displaying a lag and the lag's really not there, right? Like, I don't know if that lag is actually there, if it's just kind of displaying it. So we got just a little bit more to the downside. If we fill the 24,418s, I'm gonna look for a little buy here, guys. Gonna look for a little buy. See how this this technique that I'm trying plays out. Let's try like an ask -2, so I try not to miss it. Yeah, that filled me extremely quickly. That was ask -2. Again, guys, taking some trades on some accounts that I'm really not too worried about here. Trade-of-8 sim accounts. I really do want to get comfortable with how I want to enter and exit the market on a new platform. 2 new platforms, technically. And being able to watch this in real time, not that ticks are going to make or break you, but they kind of are, right? Trading is a game of inches. So, having poor fills or lack of confidence in your, what you're trading on, I think can be really detrimental. So, I'm going to continue to play around with it for sure, but that's definitely something I wanted to watch. So like that one, I entered ask -2 on a buy, and it filled like immediately. Like, so, you know, maybe on that point I was entering as price was coming lower, but that tells me maybe I could get a little bit wider and still get a little bit better fill than if I was just marketing in. But I'm going to trade these with, you know, minis and pretty tight stop loss and take profit. Be able to take a handful of little trades back and forth here. I also wanted to play around with moving stop losses and take profit, entering and exiting. We were looking at the DOM here where we can come down and flatten all or cancel all. That was pretty cool. That was pretty sweet to play around with yesterday. I did like to see that. Oh, I don't want to enter another order. No. You have to physically click here, which is really easy to fat finger against a stop, so I'm not going to click that, but it is a little bit annoying that you can't take away that, like, project the bracket and market order unless you change the setting. Kind of weird that you can't do that. But no rejection here off of the lows that I was trying for, at least yet. Looks like I'm going to take a little stop on this one. Ooh, there's some buying pressure. Can I get rid of this? Great, thank you. But yeah, it was cool to play around. Damn it. It was cool to play around with the DOM yesterday and learn that there were some nice flatten all, cancel all buttons, which I do like. I don't use the reverse button. You could buy market, sell market from down here, which is pretty cool also. I think one thing that they could add would just be like a join bid and join ask. That would be pretty cool. Ooh, look, you can also cancel all sell orders or cancel all buy orders if you had them here. That's pretty sweet as well. But some interesting stuff to learn, right? You know, there's always something to add on. We talked about these settings here where you could project market orders, project the buy and sell, take profit and stop loss for market orders, which is, you know, what I did for this one where it was bouncing around. It's automatically set to not do this, so you would have to come in here and change the settings. But a whole bunch of settings you can play around with here as many people are coming off of Project X and onto NinjaTrader TradingView. Good morning. Do we pump till end of day? I don't know. Morning, Omega. Dom, using the join bid, join ask on Tradeovate DOMs. Yes, you could do that. Helps a lot with latency from TradingView. I've been executing on Tradeovate and managing the trade on TradingView. Yeah, I've debated doing that, Bobby, and I've played around with that quite a bit. You know, you can physically log into a Tradeovate chart, which I don't have up here right now that I'm displaying with you guys. And you could execute on Tradeovate, right? And then you can just manage your trade. You could chart on TradingView. I was hoping not to have to do that. I was really hoping not to have to do that. But I think I might. I really do not enjoy the lag here at all that we get with these candles printing. I do feel like I'm behind the 8 ball when I go to enter. I'm trying to compensate that for that, like I talked about, by using limit with a price offset, which you could change by clicking here. And for example, for a buy, what I just did was I was ask -2. I could be like ask -5, for example. And what this does is, as you can see, this limit order is a little bit confusing because now we're overlapping my current trade that's on. I can limit in below price by a specific amount, right? Like attached to current price action, rather than market. And you can see the market order should be attached like right to the top of that current candle or the bottom of that candle, whichever way it's printing. And it almost seems that it's, you know, above or below by like 3 or 4 ticks. It could be like 20 ticks when we start moving really fast. So, you know, I don't know if the way it's displayed just lags a little bit and the data is real time and the fills are really good. I have to assume it's more on the visual side that like the fills are actually better than the thing is displaying. And, you know, it's more just a visual issue. But again, just kind of working through the kinks of, you know, coming over to a new platform live with you guys. And I think that could be helpful. You could watch stuff work and not work and, you know, whatever. Can you describe how you're using the ATR? Are you calculating what the range Are you calculating what the current range is relative to that? Yes. Yeah. So like ATR is average true range, right? Down here, this is the ATR. Average true range is going to calculate exactly what it sounds like. The average range of whatever time frame you're on for whatever length of time that you have set. So for this on the 1 minute chart, it's calculating the average range of these 1 minute candles over the last, what is it, 10 or 14? Yeah, over the last 14, right? No smoothing? Yeah. So for layman's terms on this, right? For utilizing an ATR, if you're watching one time frame primarily, right, day in and day out, I think it can be helpful to throw an ATR on the bottom of your chart. I don't really do it with YM on the 15 minute because I'm twitchy with the measurement tool, right? And you can get a feel for, what these candles are printing like over the last 14, right? If you just drug out a measurement tool, and you started to see kind of what the range of these candles are, right? On the 15-minute chart, it's a lot slower moving. That ATR isn't going to change as fast. And, for example, not to come off with a trade running, but I will. I'll talk about it. YM on the 15-minute chart, it's a lot easier to just drag out that that measurement tool and just get a feel, right? Same thing for the daily, right? You could look at the daily and say, what's the ATR on the daily over the last, whatever length of time that I want to look at. And, that's kind of what I'm doing, like when I started the session by dragging out this measurement tool, really for two reasons, Pam and anyone else listening. Number one, to get a feel for that volatility, right? Like, what does the volatility look like today relative to, yesterday, right? Are we moving at a much faster rate? Are we moving like way, way quicker? Are we moving way slower? Are we consolidating? Are we starting to calm down? And why is that important? We need to adjust for that volatility, right? If we are trading at 2 times the average true range, 1 week over another week, if you're going to keep your risk consistent, you probably want to size down, right? You probably want to decrease your position size, widen out stops, widen out targets. And conversely, if we're slowing down on volatility, we're really calming down on price action and structure. We're not moving that fast. Not a lot of volume in the market. I'm stopped out on that NQ trade. We're not moving a lot in the market. We probably want to, increase position size, tighten up on stops and targets, right? Something along those lines. But along with that, it can also give you some reasonable expectations, right? It can give you, what you might expect out of the upcoming, 15-minute candles or the daily candles, right? Am I shooting for an extension that is, really, really, really unreasonable, right? Am I looking for a trade that just doesn't make any sense? I think it's much more helpful on lower time frames. For me, scalping on NQ, I'm trying to get a feel for where I would like to be for the way that I want to scalp it, really how tight I want to scalp it, and how close I want to be to that ATR by way of take profit and stop loss. So I'm kind of adjusting as I go, but I'm understanding, like today, we're trading in pre-market before open at an ATR of around 10, kind of dropping off. We increased a little bit here. What am I going to scalp with? What's the price movement going to look like? And then adjust from there, right? I might say, hey, you have great results. You went, 3-0 scalping for an hour, and you were running a stop loss that was, 2 times the ATR, right? And then another day, I might be trading and I might have a stop loss that's half an ATR or 4 times the ATR. And I might not really realize that. I might feel like I'm trading similarly, but I can be really sized differently and structured differently across different days. And I think it's a little bit more important if you're going to trade lower time frames because the change is just exaggerated. It's just so much more drastic. And it's harder to, at least in my opinion, it's harder to pick up because you have such a little amount of data that you're showing. And that volatility has changed so much from yesterday or the day before. Maybe I can see that on the 15-minute chart. We were looking at, an hour of data here, and, it's completely different. So that's kind of the thought process on ATR. Again, average true range, it is an indicator. It's not a predictive indicator. Like, it's not a directional indicator. It's not going to help you hit buy or sell, or at least I don't see anybody that uses it that way. It's measuring volatility. It's measuring the average range set to specific parameters, right? You can adjust a whole lot of settings on it and go from there. But I think that can be helpful. If you're not going to use ATR, I do think you should be using pretty frequently a measurement tool, right? And getting a feel for, what this looks like, or even a position tool, right? A lot of traders will use a position tool, and they know that they're usually maybe, for example, entering with a 30, just random numbers, 30-point stop loss, 30-point take profit. You might come over here with your 30-point take profit and stop loss on another day, and that's like really wide, right? And then on a day where we're moving super fast, that might be what your 30-point take profit and stop loss looks like, right? So, it really the mark of an experienced trader is the ability to adjust to volatility and maintain their style of trading while adjusting to that drastic difference in price action and market structure, size, and speed. So, hope that helps. Yeah, but again, I think like ATR is an easy one to throw on your chart and just look at it, just get a feel for it. Again, price action market structure will show you, but here's the question, right? If I took away this price and time axis, right? Here's the honest truth. If I took away the price axis and the time axis, you couldn't tell me, I've never seen anybody get it right. You couldn't tell me, first off, what instrument we're trading, but what time frame we're on. You would not be able to differentiate this. Almost nobody, outside of the extremes, which look different. You really wouldn't be able to tell me if this was a 1-minute time frame or a 4-hour time frame, right? You really wouldn't be able to tell me if this was the daily or the 2-minute chart, right? So if we have to use price and time, using something that is going to measure that price movement, if we're not going to look over here, which most people are not really doing, is really important. So good convo on volatility, man. It's something I look to continue to improve on as a trader. I think it's one of those things that is difficult to do, but it's definitely really important. So bear with me, guys. Not going anywhere just yet, but I want to make sure I got my info over to my man Clay. Make sure he's ready to get set up and hop on stream with me. Let's see. I want to play around. I want to take one more trade before market open on NQ. I was kind of waiting for a test of these lows, but I'm gonna see what happens if I go like ask -5 if I catch a fill on that. I think I will, but I'm gonna play with that one. Wondering if we dip really aggressively here. If we break down, I think we come to this next level. Let's try it. There we go. Got the fill on that one. So entering with an offset can be helpful for scalping. That was a bid -5, and I actually got the fill on that one. Again, guys, I'm scalping away like a crazy person here. Really getting some testing in on new trading platform, new tools, right? Something that somebody else, I don't know that I'm going to do it right here, but something that somebody else mentioned yesterday, which was pretty cool, is, you can drag around. Obviously, you could drag around stops and take profits right here. You can hit discard, but I was like, you got to come over here, and maybe you're off of this. You got to come in here and hit confirm, or, that type of stuff. I don't love that, because I think you could easily fat finger something. Like maybe I have a stop right there, right? And I want to get rid of the stop, but I accidentally closed the position. You can use the enter tool. You could use the enter button. You can literally drag stop loss up here if you're moving really quickly. You could also, I think, set hotkeys for a lot of this stuff. But you could drag a stop loss up here, for example, which I'll do. I'll go stop to break even. I want this to take off. And hit enter. And now I'm stop loss to break even plus a couple ticks, right? Rather than having to confirm and click. Because again, this is dicey. That's an easy fat finger, right? Something that you could do to get rid of this, for example, if you wanted to, so you didn't fat finger it, is you could come over here on the order card, on the DOM, and you could get rid of it here, right? So I think that's important. This is setting you up to fail. If you're like, all right, Zach, quickly get out of the order. There we go. We got to take profit on that one. If you're like, quickly get out of the order, and you come over here and I got to cancel that, that's asking for a fat finger. So, I think Project X has some of that stuff. I'm constantly resetting the chart by right-clicking and going like that. That's kind of a dangerous move because that's all it takes to like buy or sell, right? Especially if you have one-click trading on and things like that. So try to minimize fat finger mistakes. Right? That's something to think about. Definitely try to minimize where you have to click really close to other buttons that are immediate actions. Not good if you have to do that. I also have confirmations on, right? So I physically have to well, no, that's my buy market right there, right? I don't have but if I was going to close out of a trade, I physically have to say, like, make sure I close myself out of the trade, like confirm closing it. So, a couple notes there, but good stuff to, like, touch around with, man. This little nuanced stuff, that little, like, seemingly unimportant crap is really important. It's really important. Not fat fingering something is super important. I can't tell you the amount of times I've done it. I've bought when I was supposed to sell live with you guys on stream. I've literally added into a position when I was supposed to close out live with you guys. More than once, actually. I'm not proud of that. But, like, that could be detrimental. Like, markets move really fast. That type of deal. So, anyway, guys, I will be right back. We're going to get ready to bring Clay in. I will be right back. Going to grab a quick drink. We will get ready to trade YM off of the open and have some fun with my man, Clay B. Hodges, founder of Top One, coming on stream. We got some awesome stuff coming up today. I think it might be more than just a giveaway. I don't know. Went 1-1 scalping here for break even on NQ. Just really out of time for the morning. Otherwise, I would keep going. We're going to come over to YM on the 15-minuto chart, which I don't think is how you actually say minute in Spanish. But we're going to look to trade YM off of the open the way we have been doing. A little bit wider take profits, wider stop losses on this. So, be right back, guys. Bear with me. Let me make sure we are back in action here. There we go. Full of spirit. Bro, how are you always seem so energetic? This is what I do, man. I got to bring some energy to you guys. Someone's got to do it. I'm usually a one-man show on here, so I got to have a big cup of coffee, an energy drink, something, and get jacked up for the open, man. But listen, I really do enjoy the markets. I enjoy trading. I really enjoy doing this. I enjoy live streaming with you guys. I don't know that I would spend the amount of time doing it that if I wasn't finding a way to generate income from all of it, which I do. Money is an important piece in life. So, I'm not going to lie and say I just do all this for fun. I don't. But I'd be lying if I said I don't enjoy it. This is super fun. I'm super grateful that I get to hang out and yap markets and trade and, you know, make money with you guys, lose money with you guys live, have fun. It's awesome to call, you know, a lot of this my job, right? What I do. So it's I'm grateful for that, really grateful. So maybe that's where some of that that energy comes from. But we are getting ready. Market is opening up 9:30 a.m. Good morning, sir, and good luck. Tim, what's up? Pam, I remember that. Damn, Zach. Damn, two Zach are streaming right now. Who else is streaming? We got another Zach that streams. That's awesome. Clay will be here soon. Yes, he will. Good morning. Good morning. Yes, he's coming on today, guys. 9:30 a.m. Eastern. Remember, guys, I know most of you, almost all of you are in the Discord. I try, guys. I really try to communicate. And, you know, for example, you could always ask questions. I'm not knocking anybody. But here is the link to hop in the community if you're not already, right? I keep you guys updated as best I can. I try to give you guys a lot of heads up. Exactly when I'm streaming, what time, where I'm streaming, what's going on, everything, man. It's a free Discord, no course, no VIP, no mentorship. It's wide open right now. There's no pass-through. You can just join through the Discord link. Hop in there, leave notifications on, and you'll always know when I'm going live because I repeat myself 1,000 times. You'll also know when everybody's coming on the stream. Like yesterday, I said Clay's coming on 9:30 a.m. I said this morning, hey guys, we're starting the stream 8:30. Clay's coming on 9:30 a.m. I will acknowledge I was late this morning, late to start the stream. That is unfortunately a common occurrence for me because I'm almost always dealing with some weird tech issue. It's like it blows my mind. I have all of the best stuff. I pay for all of this. Everything is subscription. And like all of a sudden something's like, nah, we don't want to work. Like right before I'm like, dude, what? Even yesterday it cut out. Dude, I'm blown away. I don't know. I don't know. And there's no answer to that stuff. So anyway, not to complain to you guys, but I always will try to keep you updated. 100% free trading Discord. Link is in the stream. Boom. Link is in chat. Feel free to join, guys. Again, no course, no VIP. I trade live here almost every damn day. 9:15 a.m. Eastern. 100% free. I don't claim to be the best. I don't claim to have it all figured out. I'm happy to show you what real trading looks like for me. Day in and day out. The good, the bad. Making money, losing money, right? Triumphs and success and failures, abysmal failures and heartbreaks and mistakes made, right? You know, that's part of the game. At least for me. At least for me. Maybe for others, you know, they are the best trader in the world and they have a magic system and strategy and they are a genius and you just need to listen to exactly what they say and give them, you know, $29.99 for their indicator and it will make you profitable. And I wish you good luck with that if you go that route. Joking around, of course. Joking around, of course. So watching this pop to the upside here, 9:30. Again, guys, I am looking for my classic YM mean reversion style trade. I'm looking for a sweep of prior day high. We're testing value area high from yesterday. I'm really tempted on a short. We're dropping off we were dropping off coming into the open on CVD. We're not so much now. But I'm going to fade this again. I'm going to be a psychopath and fade this bad boy again if I can. Start to frame this trade out. Here's a 200 point stop loss, 200 point tick stop loss, 200 point tick take profit on YM. This is really the max that I'm working with. So we talked about adjusting for volatility. I'm limited in the live account, as I should be, right? But I'm limited in the live account to 1 mini or 10 micros. I can size down. You guys have seen me do that quite a bit when market's moving really fast. I can't always size up. Well, I can't size up past that one, which I really wouldn't want to. I don't really need to. But sometimes I can adjust, you know, maybe I say, hey, you know what, we're moving pretty slow. I want to take on $1,000 worth of risk, but I don't need to have a stop loss of 200 points. You know, I can drag that a little bit tighter. And again, one of the really cool things about trading with TradingView, which is not available on Project X, you can drag out stop losses on Project X after you enter, which is cool, but you can't have custom OCO brackets set for market limit and stop orders. And again, the ability to do this is turned on, but just real quick, because I keep getting asked, going to settings and then project order for market. Excuse me, project order for market orders. Shows a project order on the chart before sending a market order. So it actually shows the market here, and then you can drag out, take profit, and stop loss, which is pretty cool, right? Maybe you are trading more size, and you're like, hey, I want to trade 5 minis. Wow, that's way too much risk. I need to size down to 2 because I take on, $2,000 worth of risk per trade, that type of stuff. So pretty sweet. But yeah, I'm not going to jump into it just yet, but this is what I was looking at. A sweep of prior day high would do it for me. Let's get this off the screen and go back to like 200 and 200 just for fun. I don't want that set just yet. We would have a stop loss though of under $1,000. Whoa, not that much, but we're gonna go ahead and get rid of this for now. Awesome. And I think I see my man in the background. I think we got special guest Clay getting ready to hop on stream here, 9:35. Let me go ahead and pull this man on. Man who needs very little introduction. Clay B. Hodges, what's going on, brother?
Dude, how's it going?
I got to come up with some...
It's been too long. I had to come back. It's been a week.
It's been a week, man. It's been a week. Yeah, we're making this a regular occurrence, man. It's awesome.
I like that. Well, I mean, your all's community is super cool, receptive, and I promise I don't say that for every stream I go on, which is like yours, Austin's. Proper match is good, but the most educational I think is honestly yours are awesome.
Yeah, man.
I like how you're just breaking down to trading views. So the switch has been made, huh?
Yeah, switch has been made. I'm over here for the top 1 accounts. Everybody's off of Project X, and it's been fun with my community. I appreciate that, man. The community's going crazy, saying what's up. Everybody's saying hi. They're
comments pulled up.
Yeah, they're awesome. I appreciate everybody hopping on. But yeah, man, breaking down TradingView. I've been really kind of just easing into it, trying not to do anything too crazy, and take more trades, just kind of feel out the different features. There's a lot of cool stuff on here. Honestly, like somebody made me aware of something like I didn't even know yesterday. I was like, man, it'd be cool if there was like a flatten all button, right? Like, maybe Project X there is. I just didn't know about it. Over here on the DOM, there's like a flatten all, cancel all. You even have reverse. It's pretty cool, man. I'm really enjoying getting comfortable trading on TradingView from Tradeovate. There's some things like a little bit of lag and stuff like that. But of course, the option is we could trade right from a Tradeovate chart or Ninja Trader chart. You could go right to that platform, if that's the preference. But yeah, it's been cool.
How big of a lag are you experiencing?
So this it's a TradingView thing. It's a TradingView thing. But right on TradingView as candles print. And again, even with real-time data, all the good stuff, there's like a split-second lag. We're talking not even like 1 full second, but it's a noticeable, very, very small delay. For me, I think for most traders, it's really manageable. There's some stuff you can do with like limited in, bid or ask, plus or minus a little bit to compensate for it. But yeah, there's always going to be a little bit of a trade-off, right? Like one platform's not going to have every single thing and be completely perfect, but it's all about trying to make something work to the best of your abilities, I think.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if you go directly from Tradeovate, I think it eliminates that. Me and Zach Arbucci were talking about that on Friday, but
yep.
Trade-off is not trading on TradingView. TradingView platform's all right, but like you can still do your analysis on Tradeovate, then go over and execute your trades. So
100%. Like I'll pull up the Tradeovate chart for my top 1 account right now. I'll get it ready. But yeah, to your point, for those of you guys that are asking, and it's a good comment. Like there is zero lag. It's extremely fast. On the Tradeovate chart itself, like even the way the candles print, they're like super buttery smooth on all of it. But I'll log in and actually I should be able to pull that up.
It looked like you caught some fish in the Keys.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that was fun. It was fun, man. Reeling in some snappers, reeling in what else did we catch? I forget the name of the larger fish that we were catching down there. Bonita. Yeah. No sailfish, man. We were going for the sailfish at the end, but yeah, man.
Offshore and inshore, right?
Yeah. We got skunked on the inshore day. We really caught like nothing because it was cold. And they were like, dude, like on the flats, like it's super, super low. Not to completely turn this into a fishing conversation, but we got.
But hey, you trade and do this so you can travel and do fun shit, right? I mean, isn't that the point?
Dude, 100%. I was super grateful. So my dad's birthday is the 5th. Mine's the 4th. So last week was both of our birthdays. And I'm super grateful to be in a spot now where I can fly him down first class. You know, nothing crazy. But, you know, go out fishing in the Keys, like offshore, inshore, stay in a nice hotel. We're eating lobster rolls and stuff. Like, I know there's people, you know, buying Lambos. They're in Dubai. But for me, being able to go deep sea fishing with my pops, like laughing hysterically, reeling in snapper, and then, you know, do cook your catch app. Like that was awesome, man. Super, super awesome. So I'm grateful for that.
Yeah. And how long did it take you to get there on your training journey? And like,
man.
Oh, we gotta talk about that. Like, cause
yeah, for sure.
But nobody talks. Well, people do talk about the behind the scenes and everything else, but how long did it take you to get profitable?
Towards that point.
Yeah,
no, grill me, man. No, I love it. So
I actually heard I think we talked some of your backstory when we were in Tampa hanging out, right? Yeah.
I'm sure you've heard some of it, but no, I like to go through it. It's been a long road. I'm like 6 years in the markets. It's always hard to say, like, when did you start trading? Because is it when you first placed your first stock trade in like your Roth IRA, or was it when you first opened up TradingView, right, and actually started to mark some stuff up? But I've been in the markets about 6 years. I'd say before I started gaining any kind of consistency, like I'm talking about before I just started to stop bleeding, we're into the 2 to 3 year mark, realistically. And there was times in there where I thought I had it all figured out, right? First, obviously, you know, the first trade, you know, Apple goes on a run and I'm like, oh, I got it all figured out, quit the job, like we're good to go. But then, you know, even as you go, maybe you're a year and a half in, you're like, I got the strategy down, I've back tested a little bit, okay, time to increase risk. And of course, you know, the market humbles you. But yeah, for anybody listening, man, this is a long road, super long road. It should be, right? Why would something that's super flexible and high paying be easy and be something that we could accomplish in a year, right? It's just not out there. But you know, I think like anything else, if you stick with it through all of the difficulty, all the trials, all the tribulations, right? If it's something that you really want to do and you're not finding that there's a ton of mental resistance, because I don't think every single person can be a trader, you can come out the other side. You can start to come out the other side. So yeah, I think anybody listening to this, you know, not to be discouraging, but this is a good question. Realistically, into the 2 to 3 year mark to start to grab onto some real consistency, and then even further from that to have much more consistency and ability to scale. You know, sure, people have really early windfalls, like, you know, year in, big money made. But man, you know, you really haven't been on the charts that long. You haven't gone through different cycles. All of a sudden, we get Trump markets. It's completely different, right? So I'd say a couple years, man. And I think that's reasonable, right? If you're going to go to college for anything, it's like 4 years, you know, at a bare minimum.
When was the last time you went on tilt and you were like, damn, bro, like, you twerked some funded accounts or something?
Yeah.
Had to go outside, go for a walk, go for a hike or something. You're just like, dude, what the fuck was I thinking? Come on, Zach.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Because I just started getting back in the groove again, like, because I've been, you know how much me and Matt, we're always working behind the scenes. So, but I've been back on here, so I'm trying to get in. I'm getting back into my trading, and I did that. I got funded. I'm not going to say who because I can't do my company,
sure.
But and then went on tilt, like probably. You know, I was trying to pass the consistency score and just try to push it over the edge. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, and it was that exact same scenario, dude. I left. I went to jujitsu. I was like, all right, dude, I need
to step outside and clear the. Dude, it's tough.
Right?
Yo, it still happens 100%, man. It's you know, it's not something I think that, and I'll tell you my story, which is not a super exciting one, but it's not something that I think goes away, right? Like, you know, if you're going to do any sport or profession, it's not that you become completely numb where you don't feel the emotion, the desire to take another trade, you know, to double down or whatever it is. You just understand the market's a bit better, so it's not as much desire. And then, you know, as you progress on, you have more discipline, right? You're able to hold yourself, but it's still there. And I think it still happens, to almost everybody where they step outside a little bit. For me, I had some gnarly ones really tried to control it coming into futures, right? Futures prop firms, these really cheap accounts. But if I had to put my finger on the exact last one where I had a really bad day where I just completely torched accounts and there is a super clear outside driver, I happened to have gone to my second funeral in a week, which sucked. And I was, I'm like, hey, I'm years into this. I can still trade. I literally got back from a funeral, like had some lunch, hopped on the charts. And by the time the dust settled, I torched like 2 or 3 funded accounts that were in profit, doing well. I smoked everything that I had. And as soon as I got off, I was like, dude, what was that? Like, what the hell were you doing? Just trading outside of everything. Before you know it, your max position size. And I actually made a video about it because, like, not everything is that extreme where you have to go to a funeral or something. But that outside life for me, like, that's where I got to catch myself. Like, if I'm like, maybe I'm in an argument with family or I'm really frustrated about something else going on, right? That to me is like a warning sign where, I'm maybe being cautious and I got to be careful. I see the chat's going crazy, but that was the last one for me. For
sure. We have a diabolical master plan too for this, so we might as well get into it. But I will say what I did was, like, I had how much I want to make in a day, which is like on those accounts, which is like 1,200, and walk away. And then I had my Fibonacci levels, and I was like, oh, dude, it's definitely going here. Like, I'm just gonna hold this, and I and then it came back, and then was like at my entry point, and I just held. It's gonna turn around. So, and it of course didn't. And so two things that I missed was one, I could have used the risk settings, which Tradeovate has that, right, to automatically shut down the account. And two, I didn't put my stop loss to entry because I was trying it out, and the strategy I'm using, I get a lot of those. So almost too much, you know what I mean? So, but you got to always protect the baseline, you know what I mean? Yep. So that was the two simple things that putting those, which all comes down to risk management, Yeah.
And use the tools. Like you said, there's such an easy one in there. And I know it can feel maybe like putting training wheels on for traders or whatever it is. But dude, like, we're paid, and somebody was putting it, I forget who I was trading with. It must have been the guys, AC Trades, I think. He was like, we're paid to use the tools. If we have something that can protect us from ourselves, why would we not use that, right? It's like, if I'm going to, fight, why would I not wear the bulletproof vest if I have an option to put it on? Like, what do we have, an ego or something? And we do,
yeah, definitely do. I've been doing this for like 7 years,
I don't need that, whatever.
Ended up and was doing awesome and got super overconfident. That's when it always happens, dude.
Overconfidence, dude.
I think is worse than struggling along, because you hit a point to where you're like, if you're struggling, you're like, okay, I have to follow these rules. But the flip side is when you're just crushing it, then it's like, oh, dude, I got this.
Dude, it's 1,000%. I know we're gonna hop into it. I'll add one comment. I recently read, I gotta find the article, man. I read that it was a hedge fund that had discretionary traders, and they would monitor their traders' P&L curves, right? So like as they're making more money or as they're in drawdown, and almost to like the day or week, they would start to try to limit them when they were doing really good, because overconfidence would kick in. And this is like professional, veteran, like Wall Street guys. Overconfidence would be at a higher risk, at least, to kick in, and that they would do something stupid, oversized, take a trade maybe outside of something, or just not be paying as much attention, and that P&L would drop right off. So like, even at that high of a level, overconfidence, it's even like the way they were describing it is like, even more technical, like it can start to skew your perception, right? Like you can start to not take into consideration all of the risk on the table because you're feeling so good. Your recency bias is like, I can't miss here. It doesn't make sense for me not to press that. So it's a danger. It's a great point that Clay's bringing up, guys. Not only when you're losing do you got to protect your downside, cover your ass, like CYA. When you're doing really well, it's equally as important because it's so quick to step outside and then, unfortunately the account's gone.
Yeah. Yep, for sure. So that's the flip side. Once you start to get profitable, then and that's why it never goes away, for sure.
Yeah. So
Um,
I know we wanted to get started with
yeah,
round one.
let's give away some accounts. We've been waiting till the very end to give away the accounts. So this doesn't mean like wait for the giveaway and then bounce, because then I have something even better to bring to the table for my favorite trading community. So
Let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah, giveaway form is live in the chat. I'm dropping it right now, guys. It's in the YouTube chat, the Kick chat. It's everywhere today. You don't have to be in Discord. It's just wide open. Go ahead and get that one filled out. We'll do it pretty quick so we don't take too much time. Maybe we'll run a duck race or two, but we'll try to keep it moving. But listen, what Clay just said, guys. I know you guys wait for the giveaway. We got 5 accounts that he's giving away here. Don't leave, because later on the stream, we got something you're not going to want to miss. Maybe right after this giveaway. So I wouldn't dip out.
Yeah. we'll have about an hour or so.
Cool. Yeah, man. And remember, you guys got to be on stream to win, the account. If somehow you fill the form out and you're not on stream, you're a magician, and I have to assume that you're running a game. So you got to be here anyway. Don't go anywhere.
There's a question from Anya Luna.
Sure.
And the thing about, I don't know what country you're from, but because we get this question a lot, and it's like, why don't you allow our country, or why is my country restricted? And that's really from the CME, where we get our data from, and not so much our rules. For us to be able to get data from the CME to run the accounts and run Tradeovate, we have to follow, hey, these are the countries that you can trade with, and these aren't. So
Gotcha. Awesome. Yeah, it's
not a knock on you being from a specific country or anything like that, So that's So, anyways,
sure you guys would like to offer it to as many people as you possibly can, right? Just have everybody coming in. So, it's not the prop firms that decide. Somebody commented in there. I'm sure some have regulations that just around certain countries maybe that have things going on. So someone asked if it's different at each prop firm. Maybe it's also different between the markets that they allow to be traded. Like some are CFD only, some are futures only. So it's different regulatory bodies. So I do think it's probably a little bit different at each. But I would assume that for futures prop firms, if your country's prohibited on one, it's probably prohibited on all of them.
Right.
So yeah, guys, go ahead and I'll throw this little banner up real quick. I'm just making sure stream is up everywhere. Yeah, we're rolling. Go ahead, get this one filled out, man. We'll be giving out 5 50K instant funded.
Yep, let's do it.
Awesome, man. Awesome. I'm psyched, man. I'm psyched.
And then we're doing a podcast in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, right?
Yeah. It's gonna be sick, man. Yeah, we'll be down. Yeah, down in Miami, and then down for the top 1 trip, which will be super cool. And then for anybody interested in coming to hanging out with me and Clay in person, we'll be in Tampa for the ASFX boot camp in May, man. So not only
the last podcast was sick, so I think we're doing the same one. If y'all haven't seen it, you can go on Austin's. You probably have posted on your YouTube too.
Yeah.
We did a round table. Was I in the round table with you? I don't remember.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Tanner and Lawrence.
Yeah.
And I was sitting in between Tanner and Lawrence, and they're both us stupid.
Yeah, well, that's hard to compete, dude. You're next to a power lifter who's winning powerlifting competitions, Awesome. Let me go ahead and get this form ready, guys. I'm gonna give you guys another 30 seconds to get this filled out, and we'll run some ducks quick, man. Let's go ahead and get this set. For those of you guys, obviously, that are on for trading, man, watching the markets here on YM, just as I get this form ready. We didn't quite break prior day high that I was waiting for. I'm no trade on YM. We took a couple in pre-market NQ, back and forth for break even. We got a pop to the upside off the open, and now a retest of VWAP. I'm interested to see what happens down here if we start to come all the way down towards the lows of the day, lows of pre-market. I'd be curious maybe for a break and retest kind of continuation short, try to capture that move to the downside. But so far, I'm sitting patient. Nothing Nothing too crazy. So I'm getting this form ready. All right, guys, last chance. Go ahead, get it filled out because I'm closing it out right now. We're going to run some ducks and then bring some more fun stuff on. But yeah, man, these have been awesome. Getting you on, be able to answer questions from the community. If anybody has questions from my community, I saw you guys asking a bunch outside of just comments on the ducks. Feel free to ask in chat, man.
So you having a lot of luck with YM, or?
Yeah, man. So YM's been pretty cool. It's really been my bread and butter. I've also moved over to NQ a bit, and that's really just been trying to trade something that's a little bit more volatile, pre-market, maybe a little more scalpy style. Like YM is really, really cool. And again, I have a lot of consistency on YM, so I wouldn't recommend that anybody just hops around or strategy hops. But once you get something down, maybe you do want to try to expand your toolkit, because on YM, kind of like today, I end up going no trade a lot, or I end up getting like one trade, right? And maybe, that's not the most efficient use of time for intraday trading only, because I do swing trade YM, a little bit. So I'm like, all right, you got some consistency there. Pass and prop accounts, payouts, live accounts, all that fun stuff. Let me try to start to make something work on NQ. I've been doing it pre-market, been hopping on streams a couple hours early, which has been fun. But it's challenging, man. NQ is fast. NQ is really fast. All right, so we got all of our ducks in a row here. Remember, guys, I'm going to say it again because I know everybody's crazy. Don't go anywhere. If you missed your entry here, if you missed, winning an account, don't go anywhere yet. Clay's got something for you after we run through these. So
people are saying I should get a duck.
Clay, you should get a duck? You'll win it. You'll win it for sure.
Sure. If I get a duck, then I have to give away 5 accounts. So I don't know. Trevor,
all right.
Nice, dude, congratulations.
Trevor taking the W on the first one. Let me go ahead and make sure that I take these guys out. Let's go ahead. We'll run these quick back to back. Again, guys, these are for 5 50K instant funded accounts. Appreciate you coming on, man, and supporting the community. These are awesome. I've actually
Mendy and Q. The British.
There we go. MEHD. Remember, guys, if you win, say what's up in the chat. I want to make sure you guys are here. Nobody running the crazy game. But let's do it. Let's do it. That's 2. Yeah, what I was going to say, I've actually had now, Clay, two people that have won accounts 100% free and taken payouts from the 50K. Yeah, dude. Insane. Someone was sharing, went 0 investment to $1,000. I think they took $1,000 payout.
Tim Court, congrats.
Tim taking the W. Let's go ahead and run it back. Let's go. Good luck. Good luck.
Well, I'm not surprised, man. If they're following you and your strategy and consistency and mindset, then you stick around long enough, you'll be taking payouts,
Yeah, man. It's the long game, like we were talking about. Got the clown duck winning on this one. Kind
nil. The clown duck. Sounds like a German clown.
It does. It does. All right, guys, let's go.
All right, last one, right?
Last one. Who's gonna take it?
Trevor said, "Been a long time coming." That's great, dude. That's how it works.
Awesome. AJ.
Boilinger.
AJ, let me get you guys. I'm trying to mark you guys down so I don't end up forgetting and having to go back. Awesome, man. Awesome. If you won, real quick, guys, before we move on, if you won an account, they're gonna come straight from top 1 futures to your email, so you don't have to go crazy on doing anything after. Let me go ahead and pull this one back up and get rid of this. And if you didn't win an account, I don't want to pull that one up just yet. That's the wrong one. If you didn't win an account, don't go anywhere just yet. I see we got a ton of people on stream, bunch of people on YouTube, Kick and X. We got something else coming up pretty solid as well.
Nice, we good?
Yeah, all good, man.
Yeah. Let's talk about it. Yeah. So what I wanted to do was a special little promotion for just you guys. So this is good for the next hour. So 10 o'clock to 11, and for any account, it's 70% off your first account, and then 50% off each subsequent account after that. So that's Pro account, Instant Funded, Ignite account, Elite Evaluation. So yeah, and so it'll be good till 11 o'clock Eastern. So it's 10 o'clock now. We got an hour. I'll put that in the chat too.
Yeah. I'm going to put it up there as well. The code that we're using for this one, just before I throw it up, stream.
Oh, stream. Yep. I don't know if it matters all caps, but Bryson sent it to me all caps, so stream.
Awesome. Guys, I'm throwing this one up right here. We're going to throw a banner up as well. Just to repeat that, we got a flash 70% off. I'm going to put until 11 a.m. 11 a.m. This is, I think I can safely say this one, Clay. This is the best price that you're going to get anywhere at any point right now on a top one futures account, the lowest discount. Let me throw it up here as well.
Oh, yeah. No doubt about that, for sure. So it's like 60% right now, but this also includes too the, you can copy trade 15 S2F Pro accounts. So if you wanted to go big and that life-changing payout, then this would be the best way to stock up for sure. So yeah, that's live for the next hour.
Let's go ahead and throw it up. All right, Clay, I really appreciate it, man. It's awesome to get you guys on stream. Let me throw this up even a little bit bigger. To get you guys on stream and to just do so much for the community, to be able to give back and really do so many cool giveaways and special deals like this. So guys, if you're listening, again, I'm gonna parrot it like crazy. If you want to take advantage of the best deal on a Top 1 Futures account, here's what we got rolling. Code STREAM is 70% off your first or next account at Top 1 Futures, and then 50% off after that. So take advantage, guys. You got an hour on this one to get a stupidly cheap deal on instant funded accounts. Most of the stuff that they're running on there, the Ignite, the straight to sim funded Pro, and just the OG Instant, is straight into a funded account. No activation, no eval, no taking time, trade money that you don't stand to withdraw. So if you want to get your hands on something insanely cheap, I would take advantage on this one for sure.
Yeah, nice. So, and let's see, I haven't won any giveaways yet, but I want to thank you on behalf of the community. Yeah, no, when I said I love coming on and you guys have great vibes, and I'm in it. That's why I wanted to hook you guys up, do something different, because we've given away like 10 accounts and whatnot, but you can only also too, I think people value giveaway accounts a little differently. If they win, they're just kind of like, you don't trade it like you would if you buy it. Now, not everybody, you just said some people got some payouts on it, which is sick, but
yeah. No, but I agree, right? A lot of people are just taking them and maybe YOLOing them and just not respecting it so much. But I think getting the opportunity out to people that maybe are kind of undercapitalized, right? But they want to give it a shot. They're coming off of a demo, or just they are well capitalized, but they're hanging out on stream. They're having fun, and you get a little bit of a kickback, man. So I always loved it when I was on streams, even as I was making my way into more profitability.
Did you make some rounds in different streams and stuff before you started?
Yeah, I did. I was on Top Step TV quite a bit back in the day. I had a regular spot on there. A little bit of a regular spot on there towards the end. But
oh right, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. But no, even I was talking more like watching, right? Like if I was watching anybody else's streams and stuff, I would love a chance to win a giveaway, right? Or to get a little bit
Right.
of a kickback or stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
for sure.
it's fun. Oh. So man, watching the markets because we've been doing well. We got a couple good questions here. Let's stick with it. I'm no trade so far, guys, on YM. I'm watching this thing sell off. I'm sitting patient, but we got a couple good questions. I can buy now and use after. I already have one challenge. Yeah, you can buy now, guys, if you want, and use it
Yeah, you
later.
don't have to like immediately start trading it. You have
Yeah.
30 days to
Yep.
trade, to like
Yep.
initiate a trade.
Yeah. So Dean asks, with Project X taken away, what are recommendations for copy trading between accounts? You can copy trade directly on Tradeovate. So you can group trade, is what they call it, right from the Tradeovate platform. There's, if you wanted to link it to, other platforms like I'm doing here, there's some limitations. There's third-party trade copiers, but I think the easiest way is like just how you were copy trading on Project X, you can copy trade on Tradeovate. You can trade right from the same platform, copy trading across, your funded accounts.
Yeah, I would say too, like at the end of the day, Tradeovate is a more like robust platform. And I'm not just saying that because like if it was up to us, we'd still have Project X. That wasn't our call. Everybody lost it. So, but it kind of forces you to learn Tradeovate. And what's nice about Tradeovate too is that, once you get good enough to trade your own capital, you can open an account with them because they're also a broker, right? So,
Yep.
And I know, I guess Top Step's doing something like that. I'm not sure, but with Tradeovate's been around forever. So, like, if you take the time to learn the platform and you're not going anywhere and you want to continue trading it, I think the goal is to also be able to trade your own live account. Then, it's takes a little time to learn, but I think in the long run, it's worth it.
I agree.
I'm not just saying that because that's what we have to do. We're going to other options out there as well, too. So, but I do think it's the superior one.
For sure. No, so like to that point, I was a big Project X guy. I think there's a lot of cool features on there. Objectively, Tradeovate is a much more advanced platform. You can do a lot more with automated trade management. The reporting on there is super clean. It's kind of become the main flagship platform and easy transition into your own live account. So it's always different, right? Kind of coming off of one platform and onto another. There's certainly that learning curve, but I'm hoping to be able to help some guys with that because I'm doing it live myself. I'm trading on a TradingView chart. I'm going to be trading on the TradingView Tradeovate platform a little bit. Just testing that out coming up as well.
So when you're using TradingView, do you copy trade like with TradeSync or anything like that, or?
So I've used TradeSyncer quite a bit, which is a third-party copier for those guys that are interested. I'm not doing it right now. I haven't started messing with it just yet. I messed with copy trading within Tradeovate, which seemed to work pretty smoothly. But for me, I'm like right now I'm honing in on like, do I want to stare at a TradingView chart or a Tradeovate chart? Like, and we got the options. Maybe it's a little combination of both. Charting and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'd rather look at Tradeovate, obviously, or TradingView with your strategy and what you're doing with volume profile. It's like,
yeah,
you know what I mean. Unless you're just like, well, dude, your computer's big enough, and you have it really doesn't matter.
To be honest, like for everybody, and I said this yesterday, I'm always running like a Tradeovate chart on the side, right? Like, so if I'm trading, from TradingView and I'm logged in, you can, and for anybody that doesn't know this, you could still log in from the web page on Tradeovate and just run it on the side. Maybe you just put it in another window because you don't have 47 monitors like me, but you can kind of swap between both. And somebody on here was saying that as well. I see we got some people asking a whole bunch of questions. Which account would be the most similar to an XFA on Top Step? I would say the instant funded is probably going to be something that's the widest rule set. Not going to have something that's extremely similar, although there is an eval model, which Top Step is an eval model.
I mentioned the Elite account, which is our eval model.
Mm-hmm.
and that would be more similar to like a top step situation.
Absolutely. But yeah, for anybody that hopped on late, and Clay, I know I repeat myself on here, but it's funny. I can see it's interesting. I can see the like analytics and people hop on and off, and I never want anybody to miss anything. And sometimes like I'll be doing something and an hour will go by and people are like, "Dude, what are you talking about?" I'm like, "Well, I was talking about this before." Like nobody knows what I'm talking about. So, but if you hopped on late, where I'm going with this, code STREAM. We got a special flash code from Clay, founder, Top One Trader, Top One Futures. 70% off your next account with Top One Futures until 11. It's good for an hour. And then 50% off any subsequent account is better than all of the deals that are out there right now. It's only for 1 hour. Take advantage if you guys want to grab a solid deal. Man, what a sell-off I'm watching here now.
Yeah, it is. I'm kind of like switching back and forth in my trading view, looking at NQ.
Yep. So this would have been really clean for a short. I was waiting for a break of prior day high. I had this marked up here. I took it yesterday and it paid me. I took a short somewhere in here and I racked up like 590 on the Top One live account. This one just not enough to like take it really aggressively short because we're so damn bullish overall. I'm trying not to be a psychopath and keep just shorting a market that's hitting all-time highs. But at the same time, that's kind of my play off of the open on YM to look for this mean reversion style move, like this type of move right here, even this type of move right here, where we open up to the downside, and then what do? We come right back to mean, right back into like VWAP, maybe volume point of control from prior day. So today, popped to the upside a little bit, sold right off to VWAP. We've come through really aggressively. I'm watching us trade towards this temporary volume point of control. A couple volume points of controls from volume profile over here. We got prior day low, Tuesday's low right down here at 50,100s, 107 actually. So I'm curious on this one. I don't know that I want to step in front of this with a long. I think that could be a little bit of a dicey move to pull. But yeah, I might have to hop back over and start scalping NQ with you on here and have some fun there, man.
It's moving. It looks pretty bearish.
Yeah, let's take the quick look at NQ across the board on the 15-minute. Yeah, similar movement, just kind of chopped and then came right back down.
It's been going sideways for a while now, though. But
yeah,
pretty much all week.
Yo, YM has been like pushing the highs a little bit, but yeah, even looking at ES, right? Like these are really back and forth movements. Maybe today we get this downside movement. We start to really push lower. Yeah, we don't have a huge percent move on the day yet for any of these, so I'm curious to see where we go from here. I'm gonna watch YM because maybe I find a nice one on this.
Yeah, I mean, I would say maybe if you take it down to 5 minute or 1 minute or something like that and look for a retracement, might get a different entry in the short side there.
Yeah, I'm really being a psychopath on NQ on like the 1 minute chart, kind of what I'm working on, scalping away on this thing. But yeah. I'm probably gonna look for something on NQ. Yeah, just for my guys that are on here all the time and kind of like keeping it consistent. This is no trade for me right now, guys. I wanted a short, or I really honestly didn't want to take a short, but I would have had a valid short and I would have taken it if we came above yesterday's high. If we broke yesterday's high.
You were marking that out when I was in the waiting room.
Yeah. We got really close. Yeah, got really close. Just didn't quite get that. Obviously, if we cracked to the upside, I found my way in. That would have been nice. At this point now, I'm not really going to find my way into a continuation, at least on YM, maybe on NQ. And I don't like a mean reversion on something like this because we just have so much selling pressure. We've already pushed the upside. We tested yesterday's value area high. Although we didn't break the high, I don't know that we need to turn back around and turn this into a big bullish day. In fact, this is looking really weak. We're forming a nice bearish candle here on the daily, long wick to the upside. I could see this being a larger retracement. So I'm going to look on NQ. Go ahead and just copy this so I can bring it over.
That's how you know relatively weathered because you're like, I was like, yeah, dude, you just missed that whole move, and you're like,
Yeah.
you didn't even flinch,
Yeah.
dude.
No. Yeah. No, dude. It's listen, and a lot of traders and newer guys. And I used to think that all the time. I'm like, damn, dude, you guys yapped through like a whole move or whatever it is. The market. Here's the unfortunately the terms we have to come to. The market's gonna move. It's gonna move a lot every day. And we can't possibly find a way in to capture every move. If we are trying, we're going to overtrade, gamble, we'll be all over the map. I really try to stay patient and say, market's going to do whatever it's going to do. My job is to wait for my setup to come. And today, the closest I had, if we were going to pop to the upside, was right here off a prior day high. And we got really close to that, but no trade for me, right? Now, if every time we get close to a level, I go, oh man, we got really close. And then, for example, like this 15-minute bar closes down here and I enter a short, right? Chasing it to the downside. And then what happens, of course, right? This doesn't happen every day. And, I'm chasing it 200 points lower. We do this, we hit the level that I was waiting for and then come down. I'm stopped out. And, and had I just waited for where I actually should have been short, which was in here, I'd be able to capture, a massive movement without taking a bad loss. So, it's tough.
Perfect trap, too.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've done that before, right? Like I've seen this move. I'm like, damn, man, we got like, 30 points, 27 points. Like, we're coming back down. Now we're 100. That's close enough. And I'm in, right? And then what happens? My stop loss is where my entry should be. And I'm like, and of course, maybe today doesn't happen. We pull one of these and I'm like, I'm ready to throw my computer out. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's tough, man. The markets are tricky, but yeah, man. No, not yet. No monitors broken over here or anything like that.
Like, the scene where like Kylo Ren just like crushes the room he's in.
Yeah.
But yeah, so dude, wanted to just say, because it looks like some new people hopped on too. So,
sure.
Code Stream 70% off your first account, 50% off each subsequent account. You got 45 minutes now, so it ends at 11, and that's into funded accounts, elite accounts, ignite accounts, and pro accounts, and you can copy trade 15 pro accounts now. So,
yeah.
If you're a scalper, or if you like trading a 1 minute time frame, getting in and out, I think that is a good option for you. So
yeah,
Code
absolutely.
Stream. There it is.
Yeah, Code Stream. So some of the cool stuff what I was playing around with is on see, this is really tight now on
how do you
full
use
NQ.
VWAP? What is your approach to it? Similar to Austin's, or are you VWAP or?
So I'm not nearly as heavy as those guys are. I'm not trading for the most part right off of it. Like I'm not trading a VWAP bounce or a VWAP breakthrough, but I do use it as like this dynamic level where I want to watch what happens. What I'd say that like what I use mostly for VWAP is if I'm taking trades like yesterday, for example, from like the extreme back to the middle. Sometimes I'm using VWAP as a target. Like I'm really cautious, to hold through VWAP. So for example, yesterday I was short somewhere in here. I don't know exactly where my entry was, right? Somewhere in here, something like this. I didn't end up with a real positive risk reward. But as we came into VWAP, I took profit right in here. So because I'm cautious of a bounce like this, I'm cautious. I know it's volume weighted average price. It's a line in the sand for a lot of traders. There's often a ton of buyers and sellers and liquidity that's going to be, duked out right there, for lack of a better term. So I'm cautious to like hold through it. So I'd say the way that I use it most is a target, and then past using it as a target. If we are going to pull back, if we are going to maybe like break through, pull back up to the upside, maybe something on YM. Maybe I look to take a trade off of it, or at least see how the market reacts around it. But I'm not as like straightforward where I'm like, we're pushing the downside, we're making lower lows and lower highs. I'm looking short at VWAP, right? I'm just going to take the trade off of it, which can work, right? Like it's hindsight 2020, but when you watch some of these moves off of VWAP, it's often so clean. It's so clean for these break and retest and even breakthrough movements.
If you're below VWAP, would you go for longs? or would you be super careful if you were going to do that?
So early in the session for YM, I like the long below, short above. I like the move back to it. Really right off the open, specifically on YM. Once we start to trade like we are right now, below VWAP, we maybe pull a move like this, like we did on YM. On NQ here. This is the 1 minute. We break through really aggressively, retest it, and now we're dumping lower. I want to be really cautious because this is showing us to a degree that sellers in control. We're going to explore prices lower to the downside, at least for right now.
Retest there, just break it, retest, like.
Yeah, that bad boy right there.
Be much cleaner.
No, we see it a lot now. Like a situation coming up where I would consider one is coming actually right into the 120s here, where we've got a higher time frame zone, right? I'm actually looking at this long. Now I'm saying it, right? Something really, really scalpy like this. Right off the 120s, we had a little bit of liquidity there. I could see something like this. Now, I got to try to line that up with a little bit higher time frame market structure and price action. So I got a zone that's kind of low down here. But you can see, like, now that we've sold off, we're coming into some tops and bottoms that have been really impulsive movements. I like that for a potential movement to say, hey, like, maybe we continue lower, but maybe we don't just dump lower. Like, maybe this is where we go and test VWAP. Maybe this is where we pull back up. I don't think I want to be too aggressively long on this just yet, but I could see something in here getting ready for a potential kind of scalpy setup.
What did you base that level off of?
If I zoom out on the
1
hour, yeah, 1 hour, higher time frame, super zoomed out, somewhat volume profile, right? Like we kind of got these high volume nodes down here. Well, now it starts to go away. But coming off of lows, right? Maybe some price action market structure that I see as a key area. Yeah, just a general discretionary area. Same up here, right? I'm looking maybe for the top end of this high volume node here, and that always is going to coincide with like price action and market structure. Nothing magic, nothing that works all the time, but just something to give me some reference where like right now, I'm a little bit cautious. Like I think we could totally continue lower, we could dump, but I think maybe before we do, if we're going to find some buyers that are going to try to hold it up today, this is the spot where we're going to do it. Like kind of like right now. So could see a little scalpy trade
through, which
yeah.
is a possibility right now, it seems like. But yeah, it looks like you're getting a little reaction there.
Yeah, I'm going to run this on micros because it's a little bit aggressive.
I feel like E-mini NQ is ballsy.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. What do you think, what's your average trade size? Do you have like a strict trade size you stick to? And what would you recommend for NQ?
So for me, and I think most, it's going to depend on what's your daily loss limit, right? Like what's your personal daily loss limit? And then from there, how many trades per day do you want to give yourself? So when I'm trading YM, and I've stuck to this and it's kept me in the live account for a while. When I was trading YM on the Top 1 Futures live account, I said, $1,000 max on the day. I'm cutting myself off. That's much less than the daily loss limit that you guys set. But I know at $1,000 down, like I'm not going to be making a good decision. I don't want more loss on that. So if I'm trading YM, at max, I'm giving myself one trade because I'm going to run one mini and I'll take that one full loss. If I'm down here on NQ, for example, though, I probably want to give myself 3, maybe 4 losses, even back to back, because I'm trading much scalpier, much higher frequency. So I want to reduce my size. I want to drop down to micros, and maybe that means like $200 per trade, $250 per trade. So, for anybody listening in, the basics of risk management of setting yourself up for these accounts, look at your max loss limit, look at your daily loss limit. How much do you want to lose per day? Okay, how many trades do you want to give yourself, right? And that's different for everybody. Some guys are one and done. Some guys are scalping for 10 trades a day. Maybe there's a high end that's too extreme and a low end that's too extreme. But that's how you want to size for it. And then as far as position sizing goes, it just depends, right? Like, given this volatility, I might be able to trade, five micros with a 100, point 100 tick stop loss, and that's cool today. But maybe tomorrow, like this 100 tick stop loss is like not nearly enough. It looks something like that, right? Even with the same size. So was talking about a little bit about that before on the stream before you hopped on, sizing for just different volatility. Like sometimes Trump's coming out, we're talking about tariffs, where whatever's going on, something going on crazy, and the market's moving. You got to size down. There's no shame in dropping over to micros and look to.
Things have gotten much crazier since tariffs.
Yeah.
Crazy has gone off the rails.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. Oh. But
I'm curious what triggered this sell-off, though.
Yeah, man. Today, a little bit of that move to the downside. Looking at NQ. This is the daily on NQ. Kind of just been chopping back and forth up here, man. Big movement in between, but this is looking a little dicey here, man. I think we're likely to start to try to find some buyers in here. I don't know if we do. If we start to break through, let's say the 25,000s here, it could be look out below, man. We could be in for a pretty gnarly push to the downside that we're seeing right now.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at just an hourly time frame, it's crushed it's crushed the support that was holding it,
Yep.
And it's taken on this other one.
Yep. Coming lower, here's like kind of that next point of interest for me where we're at right now. Now we start to get down below this aggressively. Again, like look out below. We start to crack this 25,000 mark. Maybe we test down here just a little bit, but if we start to close below this on lower time frames, I think that could get ugly pretty quickly. And again, there's room to move on NQ. Like we could definitely still go. This is not crazy for what we've been seeing. Something like this, pretty big day to the upside where we trade almost 1,000 points higher. So we could go. Anybody trading this, be careful. But so far,
right now from the previous move, and this is how I would look at it, we're challenging the 127% fib extension. So
gotcha.
This may be a bounce area.
Gotcha. I'm looking at this.
Or no?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Do you use Fibonacci's much or no?
I don't. I don't really use fibs too much. It's just not my forte. I don't think there's anything wrong with it at all. Yeah. I think it could be really sweet, pretty powerful, especially if you don't have like we're gonna get a little bounce here. If you don't have a lot of like structure to the upside or downside, like a lot of people are looking left for some kind of price action or market structure, but we're at all-time highs, or maybe for example like we're selling off down below these lows on a low time frame. You can use those fib extensions, and I used to like that about them. Like you don't have to tie them completely to some price action market structure. You can kind of utilize this tool that gives you some structure to work off of. So I used to like them for that, but no, I keep it pretty simple nowadays. Volume profile, a little bit of order flow. That's the only other thing I have hiding. Bookmap.
Oh yeah, you're still using Bookmap?
Yeah.
So do you mind if I share my screen?
Go for it, man. Down on the bottom, present or invite.
Share screen window. Wait, hold on. I gotta minimize great view.
Let's see. Yeah, this is the bounce that I wanted playing out. I'm not quick enough to execute on NQ yet.
Yeah, we're kind of just talking through it. I mean,
it's all good.
Same. I'll show you exactly what I was talking about with the levels or the fibs.
Mm-hmm. Like I'll come back.
And I like the fibs because it just keeps everything like things pretty clean. Mm-hmm. Although I use I'm more of like momentum and trader. Can you see my screen?
Let me go ahead and pull this one up. There we go.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, take us through it, man. Take us through it.
All right. Let's see. So this is the hourly. So like if I was going to go down to the minute time frame then and look at like for an entry, then this is where I get my long-term basis up. Usually I keep a 200 SMA here just for general like bearish, bullish bias. Now, what's interesting about the sell-off, like I thought we were going lower and we kind of tried right here. But the reason why I think this just really confirmed itself to be like, this is like we're in sell-off mode is, especially in a longer time frame, like I don't use this as like what to base trades off of, but this is a indicator that I made. It's like kind of like a stochastic RSI combined, but the divergences on it are super, super powerful. So we tried to break out above the 200 SMA here. We're getting rejected big time. You can see the divergence here, right? It's pointing lower, it's taking us higher. And we went through this level of support, right? I mean, just crush it. Maybe we get a bounce back up here. Now, if we go to, this is where I really like the fibs. And what I'll do is look for confluences on the fibs. So like we just hit that 127 like smack dab square and bouncing right off of it. Now, so we have this is measuring out that last move, and then I would look for, okay, so where can I find a confluence here? And by measuring out this move right here, so you can see this is a confluence of 78.6, 127%. We're getting a super nice bounce. Now, if we go down and take out this, which is like, this low right here. Oh, am I still on? The sound cut out.
Yeah, you're still on. You're still on.
Okay.
I was muting myself because I had noise back here. Sorry.
Okay.
No, you're still on. You're still on. I'm just giving you the floor.
So I would look for, so we go out, if we take out these lows, then dude, this thing is going testing the bottom of this range probably. But so we have the different levels right here that are confluenced. 200% of that move, which is 127%. These might be further off and could take a while, but I would just use that as long-term targets. So, and that's pretty much how I use those extensions. And I have like these different ones marked off, which are just like really powerful area right here. I call it my kill zone. So I wouldn't be surprised if we went like bounced up into this area if we continue lower. There we go. And if we even make it that far on this bounce.
Nice.
So,
nice.
Yeah, I think there'll be a good entry for that on 1 minute or 5 minute time frames.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. I love the analysis. I love hearing different ways of trading, different perspectives, right?
Yeah.
It's something I really enjoyed doing. Obviously, love having you on for being able to answer questions, right? For those that don't know, this is Clay, founder, Top One trader, Top One Futures. So I have a bunch of people on, but also that you're a trader and you're sharing your perspective as well. So it's cool, man, because there's so many different ways to do it. There's so many different ways to trade, so many different tools to use. So yeah, I'm in it.
It took us to the same place. Honestly,
yeah,
the same analysis.
Yeah, and again, it almost always does. Like, and that was so funny. I had MLT Eric on from Major League Trading, and he's like, "Dude, it's so funny. I'll trade completely different from people. We'll have the same zones, same levels, like same bias. Like we're just using different tools, right? Different ways that we find confidence in, whatever it is. But yeah, watching, this is the same zone I had marked up from NQ. This is kind of what I was looking for, a little bounce out of here. If I was going to take something long after this, again, it would just be that like really scalpy trade. I was trying to line it up somewhere down here. I think 100 ticks would be pretty damn tight on something like this, but I was trying to line something like this up down here for a little bounce. I'm curious to see, honestly, if we start to sell off really aggressively into these lows, I might look to take it lower, try to scalp to the downside. Because again, I'm in the same boat. If I'll zoom out on like a 15-minute. Looking at looking at NQ. If we bounce here and come right back up and we flip this day and we're just going to chop, maybe that's the move, right? Maybe that's all we're going to do. But if sellers drive this thing lower and we start breaking down below, again, this level that I got marked out, I don't think there's much to stand in the way for, another 250, 300 points lower. I think we could easily pull that today.
Would be 24,800. Is that what you had?
Yeah. I got this next zone around 24,800 to 24,750s. To the downside. And again, it would be a pretty big movement to get, and I think we could easily still just chop up here. But that's the thesis, right? We either bounce here, find buyers, and that's why I was looking for a decent long. I'll take some scalpy trades in between here, but I wouldn't mind that for a decent long, because I think if we break this, thesis is that we're lower. If we are going to find buyers, this is around the area that I think we might do it. Maybe we get a retest of VWAP. I think we might see some of the ASFX guys waiting for a VWAP retest for a short, something like that. I know that's kind of their play. If we're trading below VWAP, continuing lower, they wait for breaks and retests of maybe even anchored VWAPs, like New York session open anchored VWAP, stuff like that. But
yeah, that 24,800 is that same.
It's a fib level.
Yeah, it's a confluence of two different. Because we're measuring the low to high. So there's two, how put two top fibs and different lows, but the same high on top of each other. So what I would do is look for those confluences. Same.
Yep.
And it's at like 24,820. Nice. It literally just tapped the 127 and with just like crazy accuracy.
Yep. And again, like when you find stuff like that works well for you. When you find stuff for anybody else out there that like you build a lot of confidence in, like you really enjoy using, I think just stick with it. I don't think I don't think there's anything that's magical. Like there's nothing that's so much better than anything else. So whatever you find works well for you, however you read the markets, like your personality even, if that's fib levels, if it's just drawing out your own zones, maybe it's like, objective levels. Opening ranges even, right? Initial balance I talk about a lot as well. Stick with it, man. Just stick with that. Build a ton of data around it, ton of confidence around it. And that's where a lot of, I think, the edge comes in, right? Is using whatever tools you want to use and then doing that for, years. You're going to get really good at it, right? You're going to get really, really good at it. So now I see.
It's better to do that than just bounce to one thing to the next, to the next thing to the next, because you just end up going in a circle, but it takes you like 5 years to do the circle, and you're not profitable. You know what I mean?
Nope. For sure. It's the biggest trap to get stuck in is just switching strategies, switching indicators, right? I think, as you progress, kind of like what I got going on NQ and maybe a little bit lower time frames, you could try to add to it. But I've said this a lot even this year. You should be focusing on one thing, right? It's kind of that like, I don't know if it's Bruce Lee or somebody else. I don't fear the man that practices 1,000 kicks. I fear the man that practices one kick 1,000 times. Like that's what you want to, that's what you want to go for. Build a ton of confidence around doing one thing. Try to make one thing work first, and go from there. Well, see Randy in the chat. What's up, man? What's going on, guys? I saw somebody asked to be eligible for a payout in Sim, I have to have 5 profitable days of $600 or more. No, not exactly. Dwayne answered it. If you're in a 50K account, for I think that example is, you have a 20% consistency rule in the instant sim funded, so no more than 20% of your total profit. So that's what you guys were breaking down there. But you don't need, for example, in the instant funded accounts, a minimum profitable days. You could take longer, but there's just a maximum amount if you wanted to take a payout right when you hit that profit target, for example. But I got a ton of videos on YouTube if you guys want to check it out. I see you guys are watching from YouTube. So I got the consistency score, all of the almost all of the rules broken down into individual videos.
You explain it better than I could, but I'm not
good. I try, man. Right? I try.
Are you a math person or no?
Not really, man. Not really. I went to college. I did okay coming through business school. So I've taken the calc classes and stats and all that fun stuff. But I'm definitely not the mathematician at all. I'm using the calculator for everything. But no, I think like I try to make the videos that I wanted. And when I was like coming up and trying to figure out prop firm rules, I'm like, can someone just break this down to me like I'm an idiot because I was an idiot? And I'm like, lay this out. Give me some examples, like hammer it in, because you got to know the rules. Like the rules are clear. You got to know the rules. If you don't even know the rule, you can't follow it, right? So that's step one. But yeah, man, finding buyers off of this. I'm still no trade on after NYSE Open. I took a couple for anybody that hopped on late on NQ in pre-market. I'm watching this bounce here. Curious to see if we find some sellers right off of this area or if we come right back down to VWAP. I'm actually looking for a little bit of a short here. Let me try to frame this one up. Talk about not 85 micros, definitely not 85 micros. Oh, I'm back on the mini chart. I see what we're doing here.
That's how many times can they use the coupon. It's the same coupon, but the first time you use it, it's going to be 70% off, and each subsequent time is 50% off. So yeah, and then the code for that is 3.
Nice.
I think we're going to be approaching a potential short zone. I don't know what I was looking for. Right? I mean, could go right for the VWAP. I think you're right.
Could go right for the VWAP on this one. I'm trying to frame out a short here. I think I'm going to take this one real quick. I'm going to get short 5 micros. Again, nothing crazy. Really low risk relative to what I'm usually doing. I'm running, I'm running like a 35-point stop loss, 35-point take profit on this. I think we could find some sellers here. What's the thesis of this trade? We found buyers out of this zone right here. This is where I was looking for the buy. We pulled all the way back up. We've continued to trend up to the upside. I think we're either coming all the way back to VWAP or at least stopping me out and trading up to like the 250s, or we catch some sellers right here to this little area consolidation on a very low time frame level where we put up a little bit of a fight, right? Like we dumped to this level right where I have my take profit, pulled up, tried to break through it, put a little crazy wick in here, and then finally broke through it. When we got back up here, we kind of chopped back and forth a little bit on this one. We at least found some buyers in here. So interesting level, right? And if I look at volume profile, just visible range volume profile, we got a little bit of a shelf here, right? I think we're either going to blast through and come all the way back through to VWAP, or we're going to hang out here for a little bit. We're going to do some business, and I'll catch a little bit of a short to the downside.
I also 45 270. Okay.
Nice. But yeah, nothing crazy. Again, I want to take more trades on TradingView like we were talking about earlier, coming off of Project X and getting comfortable. And I think for anybody doing that, it makes sense. Maybe this is a good time to load up an account and with a 70% off,
yeah, sure.
and maybe you get something that you're comfortable learning on, maybe making some mistakes, whatever it is, and you take some trades, right? I don't think it's a super duper smart idea to put like crazy risk on, start trading 15 minis or something on a brand new platform before you have all of the fun stuff worked out.
Are you using bracket orders, or do you do market and then drag the stops?
So let me come out of that one. So let me just get rid of this so I don't mess it up. So this one was a market order, and I had an automatic bracket set with it, which is pretty cool to be able to do here on TradingView. I really like it. It's even different and kind of better than Project X in that sense. There we go. So getting a little bit of a reaction here. I'm gonna go stop loss to break even on this, because now if I don't get a take profit hit, which I would like to see real quick, I want to be out. I don't want to watch it come back over. We tested down below this level again. Almost gave it to me. We'll see if we come right back up through. I'll be break even plus a couple ticks. and I'll set myself up for another one. I like to give it a little bit of room to breathe, but once we get like super close like that, where like that's the move, that's the reaction. We actually got the move that I wanted. We got a reaction, just not enough for me. Just didn't give it to me on this one.
And you already locked in your risk, so
yeah. So there we go. Stop.
How fast do you move your trail your stop? Is it just dependent?
Depends, man. Discretionary with it. Like, for in that example where, I'm short here, right? I want to give it a little bit of room, right? Here was kind of that trade right there. That sucks because we were super close, but it happens. I want to give it a little bit of room. And, if we're just chopping, I don't really have the reaction. But once I start to see, on YM, I'm much more hands off. I almost never move it. But on something like this, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it when we're really close to take profit, where we've already, had that impulsive movement that I was trying to capture, and maybe I'm just not going to get it today. And then we get this type of movement. Like, this could still work out, but I don't want to be in this, right? And now we're pushing the upside. I don't want to see us pull back down and then break through the highs if I'm going to short for a pullback down, right? So not a bad trade. I'm happy with that so far, but let's see where we go from here. Do we break all the way through, or do we come all the way back through the low? That's going to be my question here.
Yeah,
Let's see.
Wait, that's a 270. Yeah, I think that's about the area.
Yeah, so no, pop into the upside here.
Which would be about at the VWAP.
Yep. I got my VWAP here on the 1 minute is at 25,271, sitting right there. So now I'm curious, like, we get a little bit of a wick higher. Maybe we pop some stops on people getting short here. Do we get follow through all the way to the VWAP, or do we actually turn right back down and sell off? I'm almost curious. I'm almost thinking about trying this one again. Another idea that's always just different is you could wait for like the breakout trade, right? Or more of the continuation. You could say, well, we're still pushing higher until we form a low, form a high, and then come back down. I don't want to short it. And you could wait to say, hey, if we don't come through this high, we start to trend lower. I want to short this thing on the way down, right? I know a lot of traders will trade that way. I'm a little bit more aggressive with my entries. Like, if I want to short it, like I kind of want to do right now, I want to short it up here, and not wait for as much confirmation. But nothing wrong with going either way on something like that. Yeah, man, just that little wick higher, and then it's going to come down and hit that original take profit. Let's see. Let me take a quick look and see what ES and YM are doing now.
And do you ever trade gold?
No gold for me, man. No gold for me.
Yeah. Have you got on the gold train?
I part of what I'm doing a little bit on NQ is I do want to be more flexible. Like, dude, watching silver and gold just absolutely rip this year. It's a huge opportunity if you can trade those metals, if you can trade those instruments. So part of what I'm doing on NQ is trying to get more comfortable just on like a lot of volatility, fast moving stuff, maybe different instruments. And then this way, because maybe it's like lean hogs, right? Or oil or something goes crazy for, days or weeks at a time. And, if you're not ready for it, you're not going to be ready for it. You're just going to hop on and get smoked. But if you maybe practice, you put your time in trading something that's similar, coming off of maybe your just preferred instrument, you could be better suited for it. So that's a little bit of also what I'm doing on NQ here on low time frames, just trying to get.
That's what I've been pretty much just doing NQ and MNQ. I don't even look at E-mini. I mean, it's the same, but
yeah,
NQ and gold.
Nice.
Gold micro.
Nice. Yep. Yeah.
And so I think you're right. They move in a similar way. I think sometimes if I'm looking at NQ, I'm looking at ES, and I'm looking at YM, and they're also similar. Sometimes I might get like a false bias. I'm like, oh yeah, ES is about to sell off. So let me try to find a short on NQ, and it doesn't. You know what I mean? Because so close, but at the same time, it's not. So I like it because they're different, and they move in a similar way volatility wise, but directionally they're a bit different, you know.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not the here we go, getting a little bit of a bounce. Yeah, listen, I'm not unhappy with my my layout so far. I have my zone down here. We caught a nice movement out of that. I was waiting for this area up here to get tested. Got the short. Didn't get the full movement out of it, but I'm happy with how I'm reading the market so far in NQ. But no, man, I think being able to trade a couple different instruments is powerful. I do think there's a limit, right? Like most traders that I see do well, and maybe you see this even on the back end. I think like most guys that I see do well are not trading everything under the sun. Like they're not like gold, silver, ES, NQ, YM, oil, natural gas. Like they're probably honing in on like one or two instruments, and they get a really good feel for it. Do you guys usually see that on the back end for like prop firm stuff?
Yeah, for the most part, especially, and I know that from like people that I follow, that like Tanner and Austin, and
Yep.
None of those guys have a watch list of like 30 things that they're looking at, So
No,
Nick,
most.
Nick
Yeah,
just you know what I mean?
Yep. Austin, it's ES, right? Like straight up ES. That's it. You'll never see him on gold or NQ even. And I think I find myself doing that. Like I'm YM now. I'm adding in NQ, but like that's pretty much it. Maybe I'll try to get a little bit more flexible to like just be ready for something that starts to move fast. But I think you gain like such an advantage because you're watching the same chart over and over and over again. You're watching the same stuff play out every single day rather than jumping all over. Same thing like adding a million indicators to your chart, changing everything you're doing. If you stare at the NQ on the 5-minute or 15-minute time frame, you're probably going to get a really good feel for that. Really good feel for
that. Like one rabbit, it's better in hand than like something in the bush,
Oh, I know the same, but I don't have it either.
If anybody knows that, you get a free account. I'm just joking. Yeah. So,
But no,
we got 10 minutes left on this code too. I just saw the clock. So 10:51. Use the code STREAM if you haven't already. 70% off, and then every account after that is 50% off. So a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. That's it.
There you go.
Pam won one of the duck races like a week ago. So
Yeah. Yeah, hell yeah. No, that's it. That's the deal. It's like, I just I look at what other guys are doing, like you said, and I don't see many that are trading 47 different instruments. Maybe swing trading stocks. Pam says a pat on the head. Pam, you get the virtual pat on the head. Pam's coming out to Tampa though, so we'll be,
really?
yeah, we'll be out there. So yeah, I got a few people coming from the community. That'll be awesome. But no, man, I think do what works for you. Maybe you do find you like more opportunity across different stuff. But again, for the most part, if you're trying to watch 10 instruments, I think you'd be, if you compared yourself against watching one of those 10, you'd be a lot better watching that one over all 10.
And think about it this way: how often are we like trying to work or do something, and it's like we look at our phone, and then maybe get on Instagram, and then maybe check WhatsApp or text messages, and then it's like, okay, wait, what am I doing here? You know what I mean?
No, 100%.
Nearly is distracted.
Easily.
Okay. That was my alert. It just went off on the level, approaching the level I marked off. So
Looking for a short up here.
Yeah. Maybe
Nice. Yeah, I'm looking at the same, man. I'm interested to see if I was going to trade off of another level here. We are really pulling back up towards VWAP. I'm looking at that. Let's say 70s, yeah, 25 270s. There's some liquidity I'm watching on Bookmap at 25 260, but I can see a little short play off of that for at least a reaction, right? Like maybe we don't dump from there, but maybe we get a little bit of a reaction off that level. So let's see if we push up a little bit higher. But yeah, guys, you got about little over 5 minutes for taking advantage of this one. Code STREAM, limited to being on stream, obviously. 70% off your next top one account, and then 50% off any other accounts. If you guys want to check it out, I've been plugging the link in the chat as well. You could go to top1futures.com. But yeah, dude, I know I said it before. I really appreciate you coming on stream. I appreciate all the giveaway accounts, answering questions.
For sure.
It's awesome, man. This is the stuff when I was watching other guys' streams and I was looking at prop firms and stuff. This is what I wanted. I was hoping that you'd be able to connect with someone that's happy to come on and just be a normal human and actually just talk about the good and the bad and everything that's going on and maybe catch a free account. Like, that's always awesome.
Right. Yeah, for sure. No, it's my pleasure, and I love coming on. We'll figure out next time, maybe next week, maybe next Wednesday. I don't know. Maybe we'll do another promo, cook up something good for you guys.
There you go. You heard it here first, chat.
Yeah, we'll see. I think I could probably do Wednesday. So
yeah. All right. We'll see if we can link that up. But yeah, you guys know in Discord I keep everybody updated, and then Clay's on IG as well. I'll throw your IG in the chat as well.
Yeah, clay.b.hodges.
There you go, guys. Clay.b.hodges on IG. And yeah, you're always keeping people updated, letting them know where the best deals are for top one, where you're going to be, because you've been making the rounds. I know you've been on some of the other guys' streams as well, which is really cool.
Yeah, so Austin, proper match. I'll be on there Friday too. I like going on there with Luna does one, but he does the London session. So I would love to do that with him, but man, I need to wake up, have my morning routine, meditate a little bit,
Yeah, it's a little bit early, right? It's a little bit early to run that one.
Also, I mean, you get home and I would like to go to sleep. What time do you go to sleep? I'm just curious.
I'm pretty early, bro, because I run the early schedule. Yeah, I'm in bed like maybe like 9:30 latest.
Dude, I'm jealous.
Yeah, dude. No,
it's like jiu-jitsu at night, and then it's like I get out at like 7:30, and then I eat. It's like 8:30, and it's hard to go to sleep right after that.
No, I know. I usually I shouldn't say that's always the case, because like traveling, doing different stuff, I'm up late, right? But if I have it my way, I'm running like that really early schedule, maybe getting like the early morning workout in, a run, going to the gym, and then I'll try to wrap up normal time, maybe get like rock climbing or some other activity in, and then just chill out a little bit and hit. I used to be really bad with it coming out of college. I was just like all over the place, and when I finally like locked in on some sleep, it's so important. You just used to walk around like a zombie,
Yeah, for sure. And it's hard too, because if you work online and you're on your phone, it's like there's always something to do, or Instagram.
Yep.
Dude, that's why I'm not really on X, because it's just a black hole.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. Out of everything, I'm the least active on Twitter for sure. But I'm yapping to Instagram and YouTube and here on the live stream now like hours every day. So people probably got enough of me.
Right. We got 3 minutes, and I want to stay on here. I want to see if this thing rolls over.
Yeah, I'm curious to see off this level here as well. I'm watching it. But yeah, guys, 3 minutes left. Code.
I said 280, right? Isn't that what I said?
Yep. I think we were looking 270, 280.
Yeah.
I had 270 called out as the level I was watching, but we're right here at VWAP. I'm gonna take this off. Right here at VWAP.
Literally VWAP bounce.
Here it is.
Yeah, it makes it too easy. I don't know.
There it is. 25 points if you sold right off VWAP. Barely, almost no heat. Simple, effective. I'd like to see a little bit more of the test up. I wanted to see just a crack above. 280s would have given it to me, but you can't be mad about being really, really, really close on a level, right? Like, it's a game of inches for sure, but let's see, not quite dumping just yet. Let's see.
Almost there. So 2 minutes, guys, if you hadn't gone through it. I know that Bryson's on, who makes the codes, like, sometimes people be like, the code doesn't work, and it's like 11:05, and he's on it. So I won't be able to extend it or anything like that. So, and Zach won't be able to either. So, I mean, you'll inevitably have somebody be like, dude, I missed it. Can you extend it, or can I still use it? So
yeah.
you got a minute.
Last chance on it, guys. But no, man, it's awesome. I love being able to bring some discounts, some deals to the community. It's always fun.
So we'll try to do next Wednesday. I'll confirm with you.
Yeah.
Run some more duck races for sure. And dude, this is I think if it breaks below the previous candle in the 1 minute, then it's gone.
Mm-hmm. I think if we do start to come down, we got a really clean move right back down to this prior high broken in the uptrend, this high volume node at very least, or the big move down, right? We pull this clean retest of VWAP, like, hey, this is going to be a move to the downside, but what are we going to do first? Pull back up, take everybody out, right? Pop stops, and then dump. But I'm still
one last push up.
Yeah. I'm looking maybe even one last push up, hit the 80s, and then like a turn to the downside. I don't know, man. Unless we really this is what we're gonna do today, like just this back and forth, like choppy movement. Like not super common, but we do get those days. So, but so far we look like we want to come off of VWAP here. Buyers can't take it higher. There we go. Another push lower. Awesome. Go ahead and get rid of this. See if we get a little reaction off this bad boy.
Yeah, looks like it, dude.
Let me check YM real quick. Back on my 15-minute. Not to miss this move. Yeah, YM cracked prior day low and catching a little bit of a bid here. Come back over. Let's see. What's NQ got for us today, man? That's a tricky one. I'm sure a lot of people were getting short in here. This could be a tricky one, or even short right here.
Where you did.
Yeah. Right.
You did a great job of moving that stop there.
Yeah, man. This unfortunately would have hit a little take profit, but this is all I was going for, right? Like a little bit of a reaction off of this level here. Some area of interest. And then what do? We pulled right back up to that area really that we're watching. Next area of high volume, VWAP. Now from here, what do I think? Two spots. Boom or boom. Now before we do that, we could easily pull the super annoying fake out to the upside and then sell off, or the
Create a divergence and then.
Yep, or that bad boy right there where we kind of get close. But if I'm trading to and from this area right here, these are the two areas that I'm looking at next, right in there, or right up here where this next temporary, maybe even a little lower, like right in here, this temporary volume point of control, this area right here. We're off of VWAP to the upside, or that bounce on VWAP to the downside. But this does get a little bit tricky because NQ pulls those crazy movements where we could easily, do one of those just crazy wicks and both, and then we decide, right? Then we're like, okay, now we took everybody out on both sides that was getting long and short here, and now we're just going to go make our higher highs and come up, like that. It loves to do that. It loves to do that. But nah, reaction off of VWAP to the downside, man.
There it is. There
it is. There it is. There's the quick 50 points right off of VWAP.
Yeah.
Almost too easy, dude. Almost too ezy, like you said.
Too easy. Awesome, dude. We did some duck races, ran a sick promo, and it looks like we got a banger trade here forming for you guys. So
yeah,
great stream, everybody. Appreciate it. I'll try to be on next Wednesday. So don't miss it, and feel free to hit me up on Instagram. My messages get kind of backed up, but I will get to them. Just be like, hey, man, it's Clay from Zach's stream or whatever, and I'm on y'all's team 100%. So
there you go, guys. Absolutely.
Dude, look at this. There we go.
There it is right there. There's the movement.
Anybody take it?
Ooh, there's the movement, man. Clean calls today, man. I can't say. I wish I executed a little bit better, but we're yapping, giving back to the community, man. But reading markets pretty well so far. I'm happy with that.
Right from from that fib zone you already had marked out.
Yep.
To
the upside.
It wasn't quite 25.80, but it was right on the VWAP. So hopefully somebody did that. And if you're in at 25 to 60 or something, nice work. I would probably move that stop to entry and just let it run.
Yep. I think we could see some big movement back down. But yeah, dude, thanks for hopping on. I won't take any more of your time. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for being here. Maybe next week, maybe next Wednesday. So stay tuned, guys. I'll keep you guys updated.
Cool. Peace.
Thanks, Clay. Guys, what's going on? I'm gonna chill with you just for a little bit longer as we're watching NQ move. Really appreciate Clay hopping on stream. I know you guys did as well. I'm sure many of you took advantage of that. I was super psyched. If you hopped on late, we gave out 5 instant funded accounts, and then Clay ran a flash deal where we had 70% off of all Top 1 Futures accounts for your first one, and first or next one, and then 50% off any subsequent accounts with codes. So I tried to give you guys all the heads up. I tried to let you know. If you missed this one today for some reason, maybe you're watching in the future, maybe you just were sleeping on stream. If you missed this one, link is in the chat to hop on, man. Link is on the chat to hop on the 100% free Discord. Yeah, no dice, checkout reset on me. Sorry guys. Yeah, man, he tried to do it for people on stream for a short time, for about an hour. We did it from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. I know everybody hops on and hops off at different times. Next one I will make you aware of, like I did. I'm not always going to be able to say exactly what we're going to do, right? That's the fun of it. But I'll make you aware of, we're planning maybe Wednesday of next week. So stay tuned in Discord. Socials, I'll give you my IG as well. Maybe you don't care about Discord, but you're on Instagram. I let you guys know, as always. You could look at my story today, and you would see that I yapped about it 47,000 times on IG as well. So, on that note, guys, really appreciate you hopping on. Oh, also, if you missed this, somebody was, people were asking. He said you could use code Valentine's Day, VDay. If you missed it, there is the current deal if you want to check it out. Link will be in the chat. Code RDF gets you 50% off the current accounts that we have rolling. Yes, there was a duck race. Somebody tell them if there was a duck race today. There was not only 1 duck race, or 2 duck races, or 3 or 4. There were 5 duck races, my friend. We gave out 5 50K Ignite accounts. We just did it really early. So also, like I said, I'm doing the giveaways random days, random times. Not really random days because we do them almost every single day. But random times, man. It's not always going to be at 11 o'clock. It's not always going to be at 10:30. We ran it really as soon as he hopped on, like 9:45, 9:50 a.m. So there we go. Dwayne knew how many we ran. So guys, really appreciate you hopping on here, man. Took a couple trades today. Ended break even. Really, 1 win, 1 loss, 1 break even. Called out a lot of this good movement. Just really not executing. I'll chalk it up to talking with Clay. This was a beautiful, get rid of this. This was a beautiful zone to the downside. Traded dead set to the middle of this. I took a short play right in here. You can go back and watch the stream somewhere right in here. Took a short play, wanted about 100, what did I say, 150? Wanted about 150 ticks out of it. This was, I think, somewhere around the initial setup right in here. Got stopped at break even as we sold off and then came back up. That would have played really nicely. We were both, me and Clay, looking around the 270s, 280s for a short. Really, really clean movement up here before a move back down. So, good read of the market. You don't get paid for reading the market. You get paid for clicking buttons, for hitting the buy or sell button and putting risk on. So, can't say I did any of that too extremely well today. But, always fun to be able to read the markets. So, anyway, guys, appreciate you hopping on. Thanks for being here. Quick disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't provide financial advice. Nothing I say or do is suggestion or recommendation to do anything at all. Make sure you do your own research. Make your own trading decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is. Even in funded prop firm accounts. And the partnership and affiliate disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links and codes in my content, like Top Up Futures code RDF, Bookmap, and others. See you guys in Discord. See you guys live here tomorrow with more giveaways, trading, finishing out the week strong. Oh, we got Thursday. Tomorrow's Thursday. See you guys here early tomorrow. Have a great rest of the trading day. Trade well. Peace out.